to the Rantcast Podcast. Come join the rage, ripping your face off like Nicolas Cage. Stand out, it's here, go down about it. Time to get mad and raise the room around it. Whoa down, welcome to the Rantcast Podcast. We are raging all the time. We won't stop till you've heard us this time. With the StrangeBus and Kurgan. Watch out, it's StrangeBus, giving you the news, telling you those companies about to screw you. Oh, hey, it's Kurgan, giving you a quest, telling you to pick up hasbro's mess. Welcome to the Rantcast Podcast. We are raging all the time. We won't stop till you've heard us this time. With the StrangeBus and Kurgan.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the TheRantCast Podcast. Let's get us on the stream here. There we are. All right. Everything's working. Yes, welcome to the TheRantCast Podcast, episode 95. I am your host, TheStrangeBus, also known as Josh. And you can find me at twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. That's twitch.tv/TheStrangeBus. I'm also joined by my other fellow host, Kurgan, also known as heroquest fans, and you can catch him at twitch.tv/heroquest fans. That's twitch.tv/heroquest fans. Also on YouTube, that's XSC3, home of heroquest fans. And go check him out because he's great, and he's also live. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Kurgan.
Cast. Hey, how's it going? Coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, it says RTX voice as it blocks half of that sentence out.
Yes. Welcome to the TheRantCast Podcast.
the rant dows.
You know all the time. Rant Does 95, Millennium
That's
Edition.
Anyway, we got a great
Right.
show for you guys today. We got plenty of topics. We actually prepared this time. Can you believe it? Can you dig it, brother? Yeah. We actually going to start with the Power Hour this evening. We're going to be talking about the painting exchange results, some Gencon predictions. Then we'll be diving into some of the upcoming Star Wars game titles. I know we talked about that. I can't remember if it was last Rantcast, but we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into that, as well as some mild controversies to help get the those rage flows going, I guess. I'm going to be using a lot of my cheesy lingo today. And then to kind of smooth the rest of the night over, we're going to be kind of going over some more Star Trek stuff. I've kind of been going into that a little bit more. So, oh, and yes, I am wearing this shirt. Yes.
Nice.
Don't be afraid, Kurgan, to state it. Yes, and before we begin, if you would like a Rantcast Podcast t-shirt, hit us up at our web zone, and we'll send you a pizza roll. I'm just kidding. Give us a DM. I know, Kurgan, you're still sending these out, right? Before I start making promises I can't keep.
I'll take out a small personal loan and I'll start printing out some more. Yeah. It'll be great.
I don't personally say that we charge money for any of these things, but personal donations are welcome for t-shirts because I think they do cost money. However, I don't think you require anything for them if it's just like a t-shirt, like one t-shirt. So
I got an Amazon list if you want to buy me some. if you want to
if
subscribe.
if we
Whatever.
if we
Goodwill.
got plenty, we're willing to hand them out. So it's not like we're charging $30 for like cheap ass T-shirts, and these are actually pretty decent quality. So
Didn't
come
fall apart when you wash
give us a DM on the Discord. That's the Rantcast Discord, and we can put a link in if need be for people who would like to do that. If you're on Hulu, if you're on Spotify, you can hit us up at Rantcast Podcast Discord, or you check us out on Twitch. We'll probably put a link in there as well, and you can grab a T-shirt.
If you're listening on Spotify, it's a nice charcoal gray T-shirt. It's got the red bloody rant, and it's got the cast in the Crackman letters, and it got in black podcast. So TheRantCastPodcast on the shirt.
It also
at a nice jaunty angle.
Has different colors too. So if gray is not your thing,
Yeah.
I think we do other colors. So
Yeah.
anyway,
We have options.
yeah, we do have options. Hope everybody's having a wonderful night. It is absolutely freezing where we are, so if you are in a cold area, hope you're staying warm. If you're somewhere hot, not only am I super jealous, but I hope you're staying cool. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see who we got here. And while we're pulling up the audience here, yes, music and graphics are provided by Suno and Sora. Some of this stuff was used with AI. While we do not encourage the main use of AI, feel free to go check those things out if you are somebody who is broke, has no resources, and would like a baseline for use in your creative projects, because we encourage you to get involved but not rely on AI for your creativity. I think right now we are starting with the power hour. So we've got the yeoldeinn mini painting exchange. So go ahead and take it away.
Yep. All right, man.
If you'd like to share your screen, you can, or I can go ahead and share those pictures manually. Either way.
You can share them manually. That's cool. So yeoldeinn, many people remember yeoldeinn.com. Big fan site that's been going since the early 2000s. It was Duane Agan's Inn at one time, and then I think 2008 it switched over to yeoldeinn, or the Olde Inn, as Ash would point out. But yes, I always say yeoldeinn because then you know how to write it. It's old with an E as well. So, but anyway, every year since I think 2012, they've been doing this yeoldeinn Christmas exchange. So I think sometimes they call it the winter exchange or the painting exchange, but it's always been the same deal. They get a list of people together on the forums, and yes, you got to have 14 posts minimum to be able to post pictures and to see pictures. That's because of the original 14 quests in HeroQuest. But anyway, people complain about that. They complain that the format's old because it's just a message board. Like, what is this, 2008? Yes, it is. But it's a great place. There's a lot of resources there, a lot of free stuff. So it's worth checking out. But anyway, every year since 2012, they've been doing this. They get a list of members together. Everybody is, it's kind of like a Secret Santa, if you've ever done that around the office. You know, you get assigned to a person, somebody else gets assigned to you, and you just paint a miniature and mail it to them. And it happens around the end of September. People get started, and then it's like supposed to be at the end of November. They mail them out, but usually something goes wrong. Some stuff happens after Christmas. The idea is you get something that somebody painted. Doesn't have to be like perfect, but a lot of times people do like holiday themes for the stuff. So you get, goblins with, candy canes and stuff, a Santa hat on an orc, whatever it is. Sometimes people just paint stuff, just send it out. And of course, with the advent of 3D printing becoming affordable and more easily done, like people don't necessarily have to sacrifice their vintage miniatures, because it doesn't have to be a HeroQuest miniature, but a lot of times it is, or a HeroQuest style. Could be like Warhammer Fantasy, old world type, characters and stuff. So I sent a miniature and it went to Guitar Hulk on there, and he hasn't posted a picture yet, but he did tell me that he got the one that I sent him. So I'm really excited to see. I don't think it broke. So I packed it really well. I put it like in this tin with like a whole bunch of like shredded paper. So it's like, okay, please don't break. I sent him two figures. I was really excited. This was the first year that I participated. So you don't get to see mine yet, but you do get to see some of these other images. And I tried to label them so it'd be easier to see. If you want to show some of the examples from this year. We had some issues with, you can blame it on the tariffs again. There's some of the international shipping, but I think the one that I was supposed to get from whoever was lost. Got lost in the mail. So I think they're actually like printing and painting a replacement for me, which I'm like, wow. I mean, you didn't have to do all that. But I was telling these guys, just start enjoying it. Just start posting the pictures. So yeah, for those who are watching on Spotify, I'm going to describe it. So the one that you're seeing now is kind of a gray-skinned beast man. So that would be like Battle Masters or Warhammer Fantasy. He's got like a muscular character with like gray, blue skin. He's got like wolf legs. He kind of looks like a werewolf that's standing up. I guess that's not a classic beast man. He looks kind of more like a werewolf, but anyway, he's got like gauntlets on. Looks kind of like a pit fighter or a gladiator type guy. He's got some kind of mane. So yeah,
To
that's
break it
no,
down,
I
these
I
look
labeled
like
it
they're
according to.
meticulously done, right? Like it looks like a lot of time was taken
Oh
into
yeah,
these.
a lot of effort, like layering and everything. They talk about when you paint miniatures, like usually for wargaming, whether it's Warhammer, usually it's Warhammer, but they say tabletop ready means 3 colors and you did something with the base. Either you put, flocking on it, or you carved it, or you just painted it. So this is way more than 3 colors. He's got highlights on there. Yeah, it looks really good. Now the trouble with painting is like, you paint one miniature really well, and then you're like, oh shoot, now they all have to match. But really, the thing is, when you're playing a tabletop game, I call it the 3-foot rule. Like if 3 feet away, like you standing up or sitting in a chair next to the board, if it looks good there, that's all you need. It doesn't have to look awesome up close. But these guys definitely put the effort in. So Wrath of Un was the one who got this one. I'm not sure who actually painted it, to be honest. But the next picture you're seeing, it's on a canvas there, which I think is pretty cool. So you got a gesso canvas, and you've got a gingerbread man with looks like a sharpened candy cane, scaled to the size. It looks like he's holding a spear, and his shield is one of those mints that they give away at restaurants, with the swirl. They're red and green. And I love how he's got like the smile, the gingerbread man smile, and the colored candy button eyes and everything. And next to him, I think actually is a true beast man. No, it's not a beast man. See, again, I keep thinking of beast man, like a goat body and horns, but that looks more like Krampus. He's got these big curvy animal horns. He's got the goat legs, upright, furry. He's kind of got like a gorilla face, and he's carrying like this big broom, and he's got his tail tucked around his arm like a package. And in the background, you can see some orcs and other things. Oh, and a troll that he hasn't painted yet. But this is from Angus. So this is the one that Angus got. Now, I happen to know which one Angus actually painted. So I always like seeing people's paint setups too. You can see the sticky tack or the blue tack that he's using to anchor the miniatures. So StrangeBus, when you start painting your figures, that's a good tip. You can just use a little sticky tack, stick the miniature on like a bottle or a pill bottle. A lot of people use those, or well, people don't use film canisters anymore, but another paint bottle, and then you can just hold it rather than buying one of those expensive like mounting brackets or whatever they're called.
So I definitely have the room, but
looks,
I still have to get paints and stuff.
yeah.
I have
Pretty
so many other
time-consuming. You're
hobbies
trying
that it's something that like I have to like save money for.
Oh.
I feel like it's one of those things where like me and my wife were sitting down. I was like, I've got these miniatures, and she goes, she was really like 5 hobbies right now. I was like,
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, you put the stogie in your mouth, you get the glass of whiskey, and then you get the paint. But yeah. Actually, you can get whenever you decide to try it, of course. I was thinking like I just need to gather my paints up and just come over. I'll let you borrow some
Oh,
of my stuff.
that is very generous of you. That'd be very nice. I have car paint, but that's about it.
Yeah. Is that spray?
Um, yeah, but I don't think it would be very very good. Like something like this
Might be too thick.
would be very relaxing, very nice to do. Um, I've
Yeah.
I've always thought of it this way: like I'll get the models and the figurines, and I will store them, and then I'll save up and get like a nice like anchor with like a magnifying glass and like stuff to hold
Oh yeah.
paints. I'll save up for it, and then when I get like older, like close to like my retirement age, when my kids are grown up, and I'm not really interested in a lot of the other stuff that I'm in, except for like maybe my cigars, I will invest in a lot of this stuff because it'll be peaceful, and because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm like a lot of this takes a steady hand, and it takes time, and I could be sitting here at my desk doing that, and then all of a sudden, wham, my 2-year-old's here, or I literally the amount of times I get told I get the hey dad because I have 4 of them, and like I'm not saying
Yep.
that's bad, it's just um, life is on the move, and it's yeah, it's one of those things where I keep debating whether I want to get into it because I do. It's a nice. It seems very nice. Um,
Yeah.
I am starting to get
Well,
into much calmer stuff, but yeah.
even if your hands shake, there's techniques. I mean, one of the simplest ones is you just put the two heels of your palms together and then put your elbows on the desk. Like I'm like, wow, that's really good, actually. One thing though is when your kids get older, you might actually be able to be an activity you could do together. I mean, my niece just turned 12 and we were painting Heroscape figures together. And honestly, she was doing most of the work. Like I wasn't doing much of it at all. Like, and I had introduced it to her years before, but it's a little tougher for kids to focus on it and stay within the lines or whatever they're trying to do. But she really did a good job. I was impressed.
So Joe did these then,
No,
or
no, these are the ones that he got. So I don't
oh
necessarily
okay.
know who created which ones. Actually, there is a list. Let me go back. Yeah, that's what I should have been. Excuse me, should have been doing. Rickcast. Um, Back to the beginning because it shows like who was assigned to what. I think, or no, it doesn't because it's a secret.
But these
Darn
are
it.
some of these were painted though, right?
These were all painted.
Like
So the people that participated this year, so Guitar Hulk, Lesto Dante, Wrath of On, Angus McBain, who is also Joe Kozier, IP Blanks, myself, Bishop Bombard, Bookham Dano, and Ikarug 4.
but these were all painted by him though, right?
No. So,
Or just the ones I'm showing now.
yeah, the ones you're showing now, I'm not sure who painted these, to be honest with you. But if you show, oh, let me go back to the screen. Back to the screen. Okay, yes, these are right here. No, you're
Thanks, Joe.
correct. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen. Yeah, good job, Joe. Updated my post. Nice. Oh, it is Krampus. Okay, there you go. These are all awesome. 2 of us got a gingerbread man. I thought that was cool. Yeah, we can have an army of those. Okay, so the ones. Yeah, sorry, go back to the previous one. I was out of sync there. If you would. Yeah. So zoom in on these if you can. I don't know if you can. So we've got the circular room tile, but like a 3-dimensional version. It actually rotates because it's 2 pieces, which is pretty sweet. That's from Return of the Witch Lord, and that's a publicly available one. It's 3D printed. Joe Kozier did that one. Yeah, Angus did that one, and he also did the 2 hands coming out of the goop. It's like a cloud of purple. I think that's color shifting paint, if I'm not wrong. Joe, is that color shift that you're using there? 'Cause it really looks like it.
It
If
looks
not,
good.
yeah, like the kind where you rotate it in the light and it's like red or it's purple depending on the angle. Well, anyway, yeah, that's but also a 3-dimensional version based on a tile that's in one of these early expansions. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was the Cloud or the Cloak of Shadows. The Cloak of Shadows. It has a name, but anyway, it's a famous tile, and it's like they made a 3D version of it. Bohemius sent me a version of that he printed out and painted purple. So, yeah, great job on those. Okay, you can go to the next one now.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they've all been great so far. Yeah, this one, I'm assuming it's 3D printed. I don't know who did it. But yeah, we got another gingerbread man. He's got the frosting, he's got the frowny face, and the shield looks like a oatmeal cookie, and then he's got a sword. The sword, I can't tell if that's gingerbread as well, but it looks darn good. It looks fun. Like, just imagine an army of those. That'd be great for Warhammer, gingerbread man army. I just picture like they'd be going against a bunch
Tasty.
of goblins that all have, yeah, all have Santa hats. It's like every time you kill one, you like get health back. It's like, wait a minute, how? Till you eat too many of them, then you get diabetes.
You get the sickness.
Sorry to any actual diabetes sufferers out there. Turbo Dork People Eater, purple and hotline pink. All those are the names of the paints that he used for that other one. Sweet.
That's interesting
Alright.
for a paint name.
Yeah. Turbo Dork People Eater. Yep. Okay, so yeah, so there's more to come on this. There's more to be posted. The ones that I painted aren't up yet. The ones that I'm getting aren't up yet. Maybe that's why. It's because I haven't received mine, so I would be posting mine, and then whoever got mine would be posting those as well, like the ones I painted and the ones I receive. So yeah, yeoldeinn, check it out. And like I said, they do it every year, so get involved. There were a few more people that were gonna participate, but they just didn't have time. They had to cancel. I mean, 9 people, still not bad.
No, and it get encouraged to do something. So just because
I used to be intimidated, but yeah, I watched enough people do it that I'm just like, let me just give it a try. It's like, actually, it's surprisingly easy, and like you say, relaxing. Now, to be fair, when I was doing most of my painting, it was right before Gen Con. I was motivated because I was like, I got to finish this Warhammer 40K army because I'm in a tournament. But I had so much done already. I'm like, oh, I can do this. This is possible. And throughout that process, I learned more. Like I got more confident, and I found myself going back to old miniatures and like touching them up, and like, oh, I can improve that one. Of course, that becomes a trap too. It's like at a certain point, you have to just stop and say, okay, good enough, good enough. One trick that a lot of these painters will say is just sit down, paint a miniature, just paint the whole thing, and then save it so that you can always look back and say, here's where I started, and now here's where I'm at.
Joe says, like, don't worry about your ability, just do it. And I can totally agree with that because you'll never understand where you're going to go or where you'll be, or even if you like it or if you find talent in it, if you don't, like, just get into it. So.
Yep. For sure. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, but I don't recommend it. But one of the other HeroQuest streamers, Dark Molier, he does a really awesome HeroQuest themed Twitch stream, and he uses 3D printed board pieces, and he uses actually the same system that we use, the MentorBot designed by Ribby, to roll the 3D dice. But his stuff, I think he paid somebody to paint it for him, so like he actually farmed it out, and it looks amazing. But it's like, some people just want the finished product, so there's that. But I personally think the journey is worth it.
I mean, if you got the time and, even if it's just a little bit at a time, I guess, it's nice. Yeah. Feel more accomplished.
Yeah, you can do it in stages too, and in batches. Now with HeroQuest, it's a little different because most of the characters are unique. I mean, not always. Like, okay, so you got 8 orcs. So do you want to paint them all the same? Or do you want to paint each orc differently? But I mean, the 4 heroes, okay, well, the wizard's not going to look the same as the barbarian, and so on. with war games like Warhammer, okay, you've got a division of characters, and you're like, oh man, I got to paint like 20 of these guys. Oh, you know. So you can do the assembly line approach. Like, okay, they all get gray helmets. Okay, they all get brown backpacks. Okay, they all get, green torsos. And you're just doing that. Maybe at some point you're like, well, okay, this guy's going to get, blue pants. So that guy's going to get silver pants. Maybe you decide the silver pants need to be changed to blue. The blue pants need to be changed to silver. Whatever you're doing. But you can kind of flesh the guys out, and then maybe you go back and you start adding some details. Like, okay, they all got red eyes, or they all got a little bit of a shine on the end of the sword, or you just kind of do that. And it's like at a certain point, it's like good enough for the table, and then you start to get a little more creative, a little more interested. You maybe go up to something that you wouldn't mind posting a screenshot of. Maybe you enter yourself in one of these contests. I went to my local Warhammer store. This was sometime last year. This was after Gen Con, so it would have been after August. And they had a painting contest, and people had these like dioramas that they had created, which were awesome. Like people had like fake glass, like it's like this clear acrylic that's like activated by UV light, I think, and it's supposed to look like water, so you could create rivers and stuff with it. But anyway, they had like smoke rising from the battlefield. It was just like cotton. They had all this stuff, but I looked closely and I was like, they missed a spot. Like I could see like there were cracks in the miniatures where they'd forgotten to like do the paint. Like you take a miniature, you paint it, you turn it upside down, and then you realize you missed a whole bunch of spots. So then you get all those spots, and then you turn it around, and then you look under, every nook and cranny. I mean, one way to fix that is just to do a wash over the whole thing, so you're dripping like the thinned black paint, and so it goes into all the crevices. But I mean, these people had missed like tons of spots. I was like, come on. But it's like those people were winning contests, and it's like, all right, And I understand it's like it's based on the quality of the entrance. But I was thinking to myself, I spent so much time on this army, I could have entered it and I could have won something. But because I was just like, oh, didn't do it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So sometimes just showing up is half the fun. But with this exchange, it's more like, better to give than receive. It's the thought that counts, all that, holiday cheer. So you get something cool in the mail from another fan. Why not? You send them something cool. It's a great idea. And it's not to say that you have to do it their way. I mean, other sites do things. I know Amalgamash does all contests all the time for stuff, but wouldn't be anything wrong with the HeroQuest fans Discord people doing stuff like that. But organizing it, keeping people on task, that can be tough. But I think this is pretty low pressure. I think they've been doing it so many years that it's just kind of like, well, of course we're going to do it. And of course, hey, you're going to send it. Oh, you had some problems. Okay, that's no worries. How's it going? Oh, okay, you got it. Or, oh, I got lost in the mail. All right, well, we'll try again. Okay, well, one guy didn't get it this year. That kind of sucks, but the show must go on. Like I told those guys, I'm like, I don't have mine yet, but just go ahead and post the pictures because that's what everybody's waiting for. So yeah.
Right.
Good fun, good stuff. But yeah, good job to everybody that worked on it.
I mean, yeah, these look really good.
Encourage more people. Yep.
They look really good. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And really, you can do this kind of work. Like a lot of people, they buy the expensive. Like you go to these, like the Warhammer store or different like hobby stores, and you buy the expensive paints and all that stuff. And you can buy the really nice brushes. You can just go to Walmart and you can buy the cheap stuff, and you can achieve pretty good results. I mean, they have like these channels where it's like, they take top painters and like they give them like the crappiest, cheapest materials, and they still can do a great job. So a lot of it is just skill and experience and not so much materials. I mean, if you're a terrible painter, having like awesome tools is not going to make you into a better painter. Only experience and patience will do that. But I mean, I got to a pretty high level just, I don't know, I'm trying to think, in 3 years. And that's like the first year I pretty much just did stuff in one color. Like, okay, I want this guy to be blue. He's blue. Like, but still, I'm practicing sloshing paint on a miniature and covering every inch of it, and then applying a glaze. It's like, okay, done. And
Your
then what's the next step?
pants
Well, like
are
two colors.
red.
Yeah. But they could be gold. I will give you blue pants. Yep. Yep. It's good stuff. And I didn't start this, let's see. Yeah, 2017, I started painting just solid colors. I'm trying to think. I didn't do it continuously, but last year's Gen Con was really the first time I did like mass produced. Like I painted an entire army, 1,000-point 40K army. And I'd say a third of it was already done. My nephew painted like a half a dozen of them, but the rest were all me. Oh, and my brother-in-law painted one. But yeah, it's pretty good. And
Wow.
if you're looking for inspiration, it's like you can go online and there's guides. I mean, all the Warhammer stuff has, you look at the box and the box has the colors. Or HeroQuest, you look at the cards and it'll give you suggestions. But those are just suggestions. I mean, if you study color theory, it's like, okay, complementary colors. You got a little green, put some red. You got a little purple, put some orange, blue, yellow, whatever. But I mean, you can also do clashing colors. You can just do so many different things. Some people go for the quote unquote realism, so everything's black and gray and brown. But I mean, even in medieval times, they had bright colors. Like people forget that. So if you want to give him boots of yellow and a cloak of green, go for it. If you're painting a gingerbread man, your choices are limited. But I mean, even here, you can see he decided to give the little. I mean, those could be like tufts of frosting. They could all be white, or they could be like little mint candies, so they're green and red. It's good stuff. They could be M&Ms.
They could be
Do not
anything you
eat
want them to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who
Why
says
not eat
orcs
them?
have to be green?
Eat them all.
They can be purple. Yeah. Well, we got PLA, it's not for human consumption. And resin, supposedly resin is pretty toxic. Once you cover it in paint, though, that should cut off the outgassing. But yeah, I don't like resin just because it's so brittle. But it might be one of those things that causes cancer and other reproductive harm. Not properly ventilated in the house. Yeah. My brother-in-law has one. I think he has like a box that leads to the outside, so it like ventilates as it's printing. But good stuff.
So
So
we got a pretty good turnout for paints. If you were to suggest, because like you and me were more like local, right? But if you were to suggest a good place to go get, because not everybody's like, there are people who would be cool with the cheap paints, but if you wanted to get decent quality paints, but not like the super pricey stuff, if you were to recommend something online, would you know any good online places to go get paints?
Walmart.com.
Okay, you recommend
Well, I mean,
Walmart.
Yeah, well, Apple Barrel is the brand that Walmart usually stocks. It's water-based acrylic. Technically, it's not the same stuff as like Army Painter or Model Color. You can get Model Color at like Hobby Lobby, or Citadel Paints. That's the Warhammer Games Workshop stuff. But see, the difference is, I see it as you can buy something called airbrush thinner. I mean, it's for airbrushes because you got to keep that paint flowing through the airbrush. But if you add enough airbrush thinner to just some regular acrylics, to me it gets a similar consistency as the expensive paints. Now, yes, you could say this expensive paints are specially formulated. They've got a high pigmentation rate or whatever it's called. I'm probably using the wrong term. But it's very liquid and it spreads. Like you can just put a little bit on there and you can like dilute it and you can spread it all over the model. The cheaper paint, they give you a big bottle of the stuff and it's kind of like, what's the difference to me? Once you paint it on there, I mean, you may have to paint a couple more layers to cover everything. And I always apply some kind of like varnish or glaze. And you can find some pretty cheap stuff, I think.
Yeah,
I
see,
buy the expensive paints for the special effects.
I wouldn't know where to start with this. There's like for
Yeah.
me, I'd be like trying to use
Well,
like really cheap paints, and they get all messy and gross.
yeah. So here's a little bit of a crash course. So Joe is right. They're called craft paints. So craft acrylics. So if you go to like a Hobby Lobby type store, you're gonna get like the cheap apple barrel stuff. It's like they're in these 2-ounce bottles, or you can get the really big bottles. Forget how many, if it's like 6 ounces or something of it. But you get your basic colors, and then you get your pastels, you get your metallics, which you have to shake up a lot to make
Hmm.
them mix properly. And then you get glow in the dark paint, which unfortunately they're not as brilliant as you'd imagine. Like you really have to like hold the flashlight on it for 5 minutes to get it to glow for like 2 minutes or something like that. It's not that great.
Right.
And then you get your black light paints that react with UV light. But anyway, you've got those craft paints, but then if you go over to like in the painting section where they've got the canvases, you get the more expensive acrylics. You could use those, but you're probably going to be using like thinner layers. You're going to be diluting them because you can dilute them with water, or you can use thinner. The like army painters and the privateer press and the model colors, those tend to be much more like liquid. I mean, they're not goopy. They're almost like ink. So you could say a little bit goes a long way. You don't have to dilute it as much, but it depends on what you're doing. Some people like to do like, I use spray primer. So I will go to Walmart again and get, if I'm using like a flexible plastic, I'll get Krylon Paint Plus Primer, or actually Hobby Lobby I think is the only one that sells the black primer. It's just black primer, Krylon. So that's pretty decent. You have to let it cure for like 5 days, but it's got a pretty good bond on it. If you're using the stiff plastic or like 3D printed plastic, it's fine to use Rust-Oleum, which is connected with testers, but it's Rust-Oleum Paint Plus Primer. And basically, you take the models, you wash them and dry them, put them out on maybe like some cardboard flats outside. Just do a couple passes with a spray can just to coat them in like the base color. Some people like to start with black, other people start with white. I just pick like the prominent color, so like all my orcs started with like mossy green. So it's like, okay, the flesh is already done, and I can just add the layers on everything. But some people like to do white paint as the base, and then they'll thin their paints like almost to like the point that they're like watercolor, so they're like translucent, and then they'll just wipe it onto the white. So that's one way you can do it. I've seen another technique where people will do like passes with black on the underside, then they'll turn the model over, and then they'll do passes with white spray paint on top. And it's to try to do shadows, but I don't know if it really saves any time. But I mean, some people feel like it does. So, because once it's dry, then you can start applying your other paints. And I usually just, if I'm going to prime it at all, it'll either be the base color or it'll be black. But I've seen people paint it directly onto the gray plastic, and it's fine. And sometimes, you do too much spray paint, you're going to start losing detail. That's another thing to do. Just like if you're just slopping the paint on there with a paintbrush, you want to clean off your brush and then just like start wiping it again, kind of like you're brushing your teeth, and you're just like wiping the excess paint off so that it doesn't goop up on you. But there's all kinds of little things like that. But mainly it's just, you fill in the major areas. They have these tutorials, like even on the old boxes, they'll say, okay, first you do the main area. If you prime it, then you do the main areas, then you start adding detail. One technique is you take a really, really pointy brush. Having a really, really pointy brush is great. Actually, lots of really, really pointy brushes. And you just outline each piece that sticks up like multiple times in different colors. So like, let's say there's like a bandolier or a pouch or something. You can just, or a pauldron. You trace the outside edge with like the pointy brush. Then you get another color and you trace that again. You trace it again. And eventually you get this like look that looks like gradations from a distance. And I think that would take a long time. So I've never actually done that. I just, do those basic colors and then maybe the raised areas. I'll just take a brush, put the paint on it, wipe off most of the paint. They call it dry brushing. And you just run the brush over the top, almost like you see those people doing makeup tutorials with the, what do they call that brush that they put on the blush with the, I don't know, I'm sounding like an idiot, but yeah, it's like you're just barely brushing it on there. So
I get
it's
what
like,
you're
let's
saying.
say there's a raised area. Let's say it was dark. Let's say on an orc. Let's say it's dark green. The whole thing's dark green, and then you take that dry brush technique on the raised part with like yellow. So now it just looks like green, 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 yellow. And it kind of looks like it, blends. And then you could do it with another color, so it's, or you've got stone. Let's say it's gray, but then you slop on some dark green, some brown, some black. I painted like camo patterns on my orcs army pants. So I just dab a little bit of one color, dab another color next to it, dab another color next to it. Kind of looks crappy, but at a distance it looks like a little pattern, like a little urban camo. You can paint little squares. It's surprisingly easy to do it. Now some guys have been getting onto these paint markers. I used to hate paint markers because you'd paint the whole figure with the markers, but because it was oily, it didn't actually dry. And so if you touched it, it would just like smear the whole thing or wipe it right off. But apparently they sell these paint markers now that are pretty good. Like they're actually meant for models. So you could just get a pack of markers, and if you don't like drawing with a paintbrush, you can just draw with a marker. The only thing about those is the points on the markers get like rubbed down like really quickly. Like they start off with a nice sharp point, but then it turns into like a nub, like like when you're a kid with the crayons, like they go down to nubs.
Yeah.
So you might go through a lot of them, and I'm sure they're more expensive than paintbrushes, because paintbrushes you can just get big bags of them for pennies almost. Not if you're buying the really expensive like natural hair brushes. But another thing I noticed, the plastic brushes, like the synthetics, it's like with models, like the sword on the barbarian gets bent. Well, you dip it in boiling water, then you dip it in cold water after you straighten it out, and it's perfect again. Well, you can do something like that with these brushes. The brush gets bent up, dip it in the boiling water, you can kind of like reform it a little bit and get more use out of it.
So this has all been super insightful because I've got stuff from Joe. I've got a whole bunch from you.
Yeah.
Great ways to start off. Good tips.
Paint kits. Yep.
Yeah.
He's right. Christmas gift. Yeah, big bunch of bottles of different colors.
And
I've mixed my own paint before too, but yeah.
It'll definitely help. As far as I'm guessing this was a pretty decent exchange, and we still got some submissions still coming.
Yep.
My next, well, this is something we both brought up. We were talking about it, I think, yesterday. Do we have any major Gencon predictions?
Yes. I think I'm the wrong guy to ask about Talisman. It sounds like Talisman is kind of blowing up, but I would definitely expect those guys to be on it, that some Talisman stuff will happen. Heroescape is continuing afoot. It was clearly not a flash in the pan. I mean, they've released all the stuff from the HasLab campaign. Renegade Studios has, licensed through Avalon Hill, and they're continuing to create new stuff. I hear that they're opening up tournaments locally, and I don't know if or when my niece will be involved in that. I mean, I'm not sure what the age limit is. She's 12, but maybe she'll be doing something like that someday here soon.
According to Joe,
Joe is right.
G.I. Joe is next for Heroescape.
Yep.
Do we have anything on that? Like anything to preview?
Shoot. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
also,
so
keep in mind, Kurgan,
is,
you are intermittently going robotic. So, I mean, it's not anything bad, but just as a precaution.
I am alchemy. Yeah. So we got Renegade, Heroescape, G.I. Joe. Because that's how Heroescape was back in the day. It was the battle for all time. You had licensed franchise additions to it, so you could have your D&D army, your Marvel superheroes fighting, Transformers or whatever it was. Just trying to see here.
I think I found something already. Hold on.
Oh, nice. It's called G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Oh, shoot. Yeah, see, I clicked on it and it was an ad. Ah, they got me. Got him. Did you find it?
I think so. I found the site anyway.
Wow. People are already selling it. Official store. Okay, yeah, so it's up for pre-order. So you got, yeah, Cobra,
Right here?
Troopers, green shirts.
This is Rumble at the Rift that I'm seeing here. There's a pre-order for $65.
Yep. Okay, releasing in March, he says. My FLGS does HeroScape once a month on Saturday. See, I wish they do HeroQuest, but yeah. HeroScape is a game that
Is this it?
meant for army building. Yeah, that looks like basically the starter set for the main box.
Okay.
Oh, they call it a battle box. So with HeroScape, you've got your master set, which has everything you need for 2 players to fight, and you can build off of it. It's like a game system. You got your terrain, you got your armies, you got your dice, you got your cards. And HeroScape has 2 modes. You can play, like, I'm assuming they do the advanced version in the tournaments, but it's like on one side you got the basic game, which is just roll your combat dice, kill the enemy, move, kill. You flip it over, they've got like multiple hit points. There's like advanced tactics, stuff like that. Special characters become more important. I haven't played the advanced version yet, but anyway, classic players know how to do it. But the battle boxes are like, you can buy a battle box, you've got 2 more armies, and you can add the battle box to a master set to have a 4-player game. So you've got the extra terrain, you got the extra armies. Then they sell all these boxes which are just armies, and you've got basically heroes, which are uncommon, and you've got common characters. So yes, it is kind of like a collector game as well as a competitive game, and like competitive games, they can regulate like which ones you buy and how much you buy. The better characters are more expensive, so that aspect of it kind of turns me off. And also because I didn't start collecting it like back when it came out in 2004, so I don't already have like a ton of stuff. But I mean, I do have the terrain set, which I bought and I've been using in HeroQuest all this time for Jungles of Delthrak. And I did have one pre-painted figure there, but I mean, I got a bunch of them for my niece, so she has a growing army. And actually, it was funny because when I got it for her, I didn't realize, but some of our in-laws actually are into it too. And so it's like, oh, great. So there's another way you can, something else you can do when you go home for Christmas. And those terrain tiles, those hex tiles, are really easy to 3D print. Like I've seen people have done them. But I mean, the company's doing great. You know, they've got the snow set, so it's white. You got the lava set, it's red. You know, they got the swamp set, it's dark green. So it's pretty easy. Oh, the stone, it's gray. It's like, duh, of course. But yeah. And I'm sure the HeroScape people have been making do. They've been homebrewing all these years, but now they can spend all the money that they have left over from the tax return to get this stuff if they want.
I mean, it looks interesting, but you can 3D print most of this?
Not limited. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, as much as you can 3D print, you know, licensed characters. But I mean, you can just get any army guys and say, oh yeah, these are G.I. Joe. Just paint them the right way.
I don't know if you really like the G.I. Joe stuff, I would probably, it's $65.
Yeah.
I'd say it'd be worth it.
I mean, the fan forums, basically they've come up with stats. It's like the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Just imagine any character from any franchise and someone's come up with stats for them. Like if you had a miniature of Mr. Rogers, he would have stats ready to go in short order.
I bet.
Yep. With a bloodstained sweater.
Yeah.
Yep. If I can get my 3D board printed, I'll see if there is any interest, says Joe. Yeah. So it's Renegade Game Studios, excuse me, at GI Joe. So yeah, I don't have the cash for this stuff. I've already invested my game money in HeroQuest, but yeah,
I'd say give it a look
HeroScape.
if you're
Well,
interested.
anyway, yeah, check it out. And the thing about Gen Con is, of course, yeah, if you're not if your local FLGS would be the easiest way to play this game. But most of the sets that you buy, they're not pre-painted. They're just the figures are white and they have like a gray like wash on them. But it's pretty easy to paint. I mean, very easy. But they also have pre-painted sets and they're more expensive. So they're like maybe $20 to $50 more than the regular sets. I mean, $50 more for like the game system type ones, the master sets. Or then down to the battle boxes, down to the individual squads of characters or individual boss type characters, heroes or whatever. But those sell out like immediately. So I guess in a sense they're limited edition in these professionally painted ones. I mean, they're like high quality painting. We're not talking about the D&D figures from the 90s. But yeah, it's like you paint your own. So I guess as a hobby, I mean, HeroQuest, the figures are not painted, but they're already like unit colors. So the heroes are all red, the undeads are all white, the orcs are green. It's like, okay, they're already done. So a lot of people never paint them and they're just fine with that. But HeroScape, you're like, okay, you see on the box, you got these awesome detailed figures, and then you open it up and they're all just like kind of white gray. It's like, oh, that's boring. So then you got to paint them. The plastics are the same as HeroQuest, though. The bases are the same size, except for the really big figures. So they're actually compatible. So if you could use HeroScape characters for HeroQuest and vice versa, very easily. Not for tournaments, though, probably. Besides that, though, yes, you can play a lot of HeroScape at Gen Con. One thing that I'd really like to see, and I say it every year, is the return of Space Crusade. And I
I
have
think we
no
brought this
evidence
up a
that they
couple
will ever
times
do it.
already.
Yeah, but every year, Avalon Hill's over here at their booth, and then right across the way is the Warhammer booth. So Games Workshop is right there. I remember when Carmine was with the company, he always said we have great relations with them. We talk with them all the time. They're always doing collaborations. They turned over the rights to HeroQuest to exclusively to Hasbro, so they had all of it. And they could do their own thing. But I mean, they're always doing tributes to the original Warhammer stuff that was in it. Talisman is a Games Workshop property that's licensed to Hasbro, and then Avalon Hill worked on it. So I mean, that's still happening. So I keep just pushing that idea. It's like, wouldn't it be awesome that if they brought back Space Crusade, StarQuest? Maybe it could be a collab. Now, if Games Workshop just did it themselves, okay, fine. I mean, Games Workshop is always doing this. They're a miniatures company. They're a collecting, company, tournament company, whatever. But they're always putting out board games of Warhammer. So you go to Barnes and Noble, you go to Target, and there's a big box of cardboard with a few miniatures in it, and people will buy it, take the miniatures out, put them in Warhammer, and then like sell the cardboard on eBay. Now Hasbro is obviously putting out games, right? Complete games. They don't just sell a pack of miniatures. So they've got the cardboard in there as well. Different goals. And yet there's still this demand for a box with some paintable miniatures in it, that like Games Workshop does this very well. Like you go to Barnes and Noble around Christmas time, you'll find all these Warhammer board games. They call them bookshelf games. Fairly simplified compared to the main game. You got dice already in there. The figures are on sprues, yes, but they're push fit, so you don't need glue. You just cut them off the sprues and you just piece them together, and they're ready to go. They're unit colored already, so the Space Marines are all blue, or the orcs are all green, or whatever. Necrons are gray. But you could take those figures, paint them, and put them into one of these other Warhammer games. So they've got Crusade, they've got Combat Patrol, which is basically just you buy one box and you're done. Well, you buy a box, your opponent buys a box, and then you're done. Whereas 40K, you're usually buying multiple sets, you're cobbling them together, you're customizing everything, and it's kind of expensive. Like you'd expect to, pay like $200-300 for an army, and that's just one army. And then 5 years later, you've got a new edition, so you're going to scrap half of that and create it all again. But just taking the hobby and just dividing it up into smaller chunks is also a strategy. They snare more customers, more casual customers who might become hardcore customers. So I think Space Crusade would have that pull because it would introduce people to the nostalgia, of course, but also to that idea that, oh, I could play this game as it is, but I could also use these figures as a stepping stone into some other hobby that's maybe more involved. You know, taking my big army that in these big containers, like suitcase-sized containers to the store, and just like it takes me like an hour just to set up my army, and then I'm going to play for 4 hours against some other guy, into the night, and take home only bragging rights. You never know. It could happen. It's kind of fun. So I would say one of these times we're going to see Space Crusade. At least I hope. I dream.
I think that I don't know. I really would hope that I'm wrong on that, but I think you're gonna keep wishing, man.
Well, they've said the biggest obstacle is Space Crusade is not as famous as a game like Space Hulk or even like Battle Masters. It's kind of like sliding down the scale. Not as many people remember it, so it would be kind of a hard sell in that sense. Not content-wise. I think once people realize what it is, they would want it. Then the other question is Games Workshop going to be willing to play ball? Because it's much more in that 40K thing. If they sign the whole thing away, it would be even more of that sort of thing than HeroQuest was. And then the question is always, well, if they change it too much, would people not recognize it anymore and not care?
But the big question is it still going to pick up traction? Because I think that's their biggest issue is like the risk. I mean, I think it'll get popular. I just don't think it'll. I don't know. Like, my thing on it is, like, compared to something that, like right now, like HeroQuest, I had a pretty decent resurgence. Do you think it?
Yeah.
That could have the same effect or the same.
Well, according to
blow-up?
and let's plug Jordan Sorcery here. Jordan Sorcery did some extensive interviews with Stephen Baker, the main guy behind HeroQuest and Space Crusade and Battle Masters. Of course, it was all collaborative, but he was the creative guy, project leader, you might say. And he said HeroQuest was the best selling, then Space Crusade, then Battle Masters. I think each one sold less and less. Maybe it was the other way around. Was Space Crusade? No. Yeah, I think as time went on, it lost traction. And Battle Masters was expensive to make because you had that giant mat, you had a huge box, you had huge figures, you had unit trays, and you could tell they cut corners. They used cheaper plastic. On the battle mat, you could see that they repeated the same image multiple times because I guess the printer wasn't big enough to do like completely unique designs. And unfortunately, according to the interview, the original mock-up that he created that had completely original terrain was lost in like a flood or I think it was a basement flood, destroyed it. It's like no. But he did post pictures of the original hero.
That's really unfortunate.
Cool. Yeah, so check out Jordan Sorcery. Anyway, Battle Masters would be pretty awesome to bring back. And actually, they did a licensed, Restoration Games did a licensed remake of Battle Masters recently called Battle Monsters. And it uses the Monarch symbology, so it's Godzilla. And it's modified. It's not exactly the same as the old game, but it's the same concept. You've got the big battle mat, you've got big armies, you've got groups of figures that form units, and then you've got like large figures that are like big, bulky. Like it's either a vehicle or it's a big, kaiju, and you're moving them around. But it's Godzilla themed instead of Warhammer themed, essentially.
So, Joe says,
because in the original you would have had orcs, and ogres, and Britonians.
I bought a Tyranid attack game last year. It is pretty terrible. The Tyranids are tokens and don't attack unless they spawn on a Space Marine.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And yet, Joe, I see those games every year at places like Barnes & Noble and Target. every year. And when I look at that box, I just see, okay, I see a list of Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Fantasy or Old World or Age of Sigmar plastic miniatures, good guys versus bad guys, and then there's a bunch of cardboard. So a lot of people just see that and go, this is buying
They are awesome.
this for
Space Marines are awesome.
this number of plastic miniatures is cheaper than but people look at it as, well, I need this many more units to fill out my army. It would be cheaper for me to buy one of these boxes than to go back to the Warhammer store and buy the exact units, that are just sprues in a box. And yeah, there's a lot of cardboard. So that's another way to look at it. Instead of just saying, well, I'm going to play this game first, I'm going to play Tyranid Attack, and when I get bored with that, then I'm going to buy some more boxes and start playing Warhammer, a totally different game. But the fact that they're churning these out every year means that people already expect them to be on the shelves. And if a Space Crusade box appeared, it would be more of the same. It'd be like, oh, okay, this has 15 Space Marines and 8 Orcs and 14 Gretchen and, 4 Androids or Necrons, and 1 Dreadnought. That sounds pretty good, and they could use that. Now, if they're not specifically Warhammer, they're just like, I don't know, Space Navy or something. I mean, there's still guys in power armor with swords and guns, but the design is slightly different. I mean, it would be its own game. It would be much more focused on, okay, I'm going to buy Space Crusade because I want Space Crusade, or Star Quest because I want Star Quest, rather than, oh, I'm going to repurpose these figures into some other game or use it as a stepping stone. So that part might be tricky. And yet, depending on how the licensing works, maybe it could be. Maybe Avalon Hill would do all the cardboard and Games Workshop would do all the figures. It would be just like back in the 80s, just like how HeroQuest was done. Now, would they want to share the profits? Well, they did it with Talisman. So however they did that, they could do it with Space Crusade. Now, granted, Talisman has a bigger name, bigger reputation, more people know what it is. Space Crusade, people have to be reintroduced to it. So they have to spend more money on marketing. I mean, up to this point, I think HeroQuest has had very little marketing. It seems like they do, they'll do stuff on Twitter, X, they'll do it on Instagram. They'll maybe send review copies to a couple influencers, but really it's like the conventions and that's it. Like they're not spending money on expensive commercials. I guess they paid Joe Manganiello, but that was at the beginning. They got their investment.
They had their budget for him. I still kind of want to get his
budget.
expansion, even though there's not much in there.
Yeah, but they're shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe's a real HeroQuest fan. Yeah, he convinced me. Twisted my arm. His dog bit me. No, I'm just kidding. Didn't bite me. I think his dog nipped at Ribby though. So no wonder he doesn't want to go back. I'm just kidding, Ribby. I'm just kidding. No, we were talking about what if Gen Con doesn't have any HeroQuest related stuff at all? Like what if it's just, I don't know, maybe they'd probably have a booth, just show the same stuff again. Would we go? For me, there's a lot of fun stuff going on there. Like there's a lot of fun to be had. And if it's just us fans meeting up, we would find stuff to do. But yeah, without that thrill of discovery, without that hands-on, it wouldn't be quite the same.
I think truly I wouldn't stop going. I think that's a good way to, especially since you're technically an influencer, it's a good way to get
content. Yeah, you're right.
No, hold on. It's a good way to bring part of your community together for Gen Con to build a video other than just, hey, we're waiting on the latest HeroQuest news. You can still build new content, but something that caters to your community and just the community. It's wholesome stuff, and you have fun. Everybody else around you has fun. You get something going, and then you have, and you have something legit.
Well, that's true. Fans have been doing stuff at Gen Con with HeroQuest even before Avalon Hill brought it back. So people would bring their games. They set up tables. They set up
Yeah, but the
sessions.
people who watch you are gonna see you going to the HeroQuest tent, checking out the merch. You'll be able to tell whether it's a good deal or not. Then you have the people who came with you, or if you get to see Ribby again, stuff like that. And
Shout out,
then
yeah.
yeah, so I mean it's
There's still a reason to do it.
yes, there are many reasons to do it. A big reason is to go and see if there's anything new. Yes, but like I said, you did bring that up to me, is the fact that you kind of tease the fact of maybe not going. I still think that, to be honest, with us predicting that, I think every year more and more they may not be teasing newer stuff, and while that's sad, I think that it's being kind of lined up right now between Hasbro and Avalon Hill, that the cash cow is now starting to run dry.
Well, they've run out of content, so they're pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as like legacy HeroQuest stuff to bring back.
That doesn't mean they can't make new stuff.
Kind of the last one. Right. Yeah, they had 2 very successful new expansions that had never existed before.
But that's risky. And that there's one thing that I've known from Hasbro is they don't take a lot of risks unless they involve a decent amount of money coming back to them.
Very true.
And to me, something as small, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, something as small as HeroQuest, because it's
relatively,
yeah, and like Hasbro owns a lot of smaller IPs anyway. Like that's what I'm saying is like,
I mean,
they probably wouldn't take a risk.
Has overtaken it. Magic the Gathering, D&D, much bigger.
But yes, but they probably wouldn't take a risk like that with Transformers either. Like, I just feel like they're kind of like Microsoft right now. They're in the business of buying lots and lots of companies, so they have a stranglehold in the market, and they're not in the kind of not in the mood of saying, let's spend a whole bunch of money on your next big idea. So
yeah, the creative risk taking as opposed to sure things.
But that's not saying that they won't. But
yeah, we hope that they'll take some risks. I mean, I think Avalon Hill has proved over and over again that not only can they revive old properties, but they can create new stuff that's accepted by fans. It's within that same level of quality and
and HeroQuest is a great community. So I think that out of all of this, they should have a reason to keep going.
Oh. Yeah, we're very picky. We're hard to impress, and so they've done a great job. I mean, you'll always find somebody saying, this could have been better. Not to pick on you, Carnival, but I mean, Carnival would say like, oh man, they could have done so much better on this. But he'll take it and he'll rewrite it and he'll make it like, okay, now it's good.
But that's good. It's good to have that constructive criticism, regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think even he would admit that the base is pretty good. Like even the stuff that they misfired on, still pretty good. And it's like, okay, you just take that to the next level. As opposed to, this was complete crap. They just utterly failed. They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
If anything, the main complaint is, it needs more. You did a lot, but you needed to make more. Like, it would have been great.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they continue making new stuff. But yeah, I think the main prediction, at least, because I know you've had a whole bunch to say, but I think the main prediction for me as far as Gen Con goes is, I think that not that there won't be anything new. I just think as far as huge releases go, we're probably seeing the end of it, at least for a little bit. Unless somebody has something big to pitch to their superiors at Avalon Hill, which they can take over to somebody at Hasbro, because that's where the money is. And with the fact that they've already kind of given their ideas out, and their pitches have already been given, and the projects that they've already rolled out, they've kind of seen how those have done. And while they might have seemed successful, maybe this was kind of like the test for, we didn't lose a bunch of money, but like this is kind of like your test, the testing the waters to see if if we could take this in a different direction.
Yeah.
If
Well,
it
there's
would
been a
be
lot of
worth the
talk
risk.
about.
So
Yeah, well, it always comes back to the risk. I could definitely see them moving away from new creations and more towards promoting what they've already got, like getting stuff into more stores,
like
getting to stuff more markets, promoting it more heavily.
I would
Like, oh
I
yeah,
would like it.
you bought Jungles of Delthrak, now go get First Light, now
I
go
would
get
like it to.
the Morcar.
How much, like, do you have any, like, have any estimates of how much the last expansions, like, around about the last two expansions sold?
I don't think we have access to that stuff. That's one of
Okay.
those things. One reason I really would want to go to Gen Con 2026, and I think they're going to start selling their or they're going to open up the tickets, the
Ooh, they got
badge
dice
sales of
tray.
February 9th. Yeah, yeah. Where's the Wizards of Morcar dice tray? Joe is definitely going. So I'm guessing there might be a special Wizards of Morcar dice, maybe another dice tray, some of the other kind of special item for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you're
see?
welcome to that.
Trinkets.
Yeah,
Good
trinkets.
stuff.
Yeah, but see that promotes it. It's like, well, what's the point of having the fancy dice if I don't have the game to go with it, right? So, but one reason I would definitely want to go is to see Doug Hopkins again, because this past year he had to disappoint everybody and say no interviews. I was like, dang it, I wanted to ask him so many like development related questions, so
Maybe
many
you can
design related
schedule an
questions,
interview.
lore questions. Yeah. Oh, you mean like outside of the convention?
Yeah.
If they'll let him. I mean, it's easy to just show up and do it, but yeah. I mean, I would love to do that. Hopefully I've built some reputation with them, some rapport that they would allow it. I know that when I tried to do an interview with Stephen Baker, which unfortunately I didn't get to do it, um, the stuff I was going to ask him, other people answered already. But it was like I had a list of questions, and he would just like cut it down, like, nope, can't answer that one, can't answer that one, can't answer that one.
Oh,
That's for somebody else. And it was just like, no.
just knocked you into the
and
water,
and
huh?
the thing is, yeah, but the thing is, I mean, when I met with Doug, like, and you can see if you watch the video, it's kind of humorous. Like he's like he's trying to read the questions, like to kind of screen them and say, oh, I can't do that, I can't say anything about that one.
Looks
You know?
over to his lawyer.
Yeah,
Can I
his
answer?
lawyer, right? Yeah. Well, and when Joe Manganiello was there, I mean, he had basically a handler. He had somebody that he would like look over and they'd be like, nope, can't tell him. It's like, okay.
Dang.
Because yeah, it's a different ball game when they're not, these I don't know, they're not clear. They have to be clear for media, and then they also have to be like decision making types. And there's certain like corporate stuff they're not supposed to say. It's a lot less open than it was when it first started. And yet, he promised me an interview. He's like, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. It's like, oh, great. So I can ask him these other questions and he can shoot them down. But then
Well,
the ones
see,
he
and
wants to talk about, at least we'll
that's
get.
something I think that needs to be left for you, is you need to prepare for the interview for the questions that maybe they can't answer, and then start making questions of like, do another 50 like make another 50, like a list of 50 questions. Like just
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where I feel like that's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah. And maybe it gets down to 20 questions. But
Yeah.
there's always stuff that I think of on the fly, if he has to squirm a little bit. Or say, you should ask Patrick that question. It's like, okay, let's talk to Patrick. Let's ask him.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
or
and
Michael. Michael's the new guy, and he's been really great, like answering questions and stuff.
I
So,
think
but again,
that
some of the stuff it's like I don't know if I can answer that. Let me like run it by, and then I'll get back to you.
I think like Joe here, I think that going is a good idea, and as long as we continue to support the brand, maybe it will help encourage them to make new things, even if it's small, and
Yep.
it gets approval by Hasbro for that budget. So, that's kind of what I would like to see. Is even as it doesn't have to be huge, but even small expansions, just something that a couple more figures or dice or whatever, just stuff that'll keep the game going. Because the longer that's done, I think the more awareness for the game, for the brand, and that might help lead into bigger projects. And that might be a kind of an awakening for HeroQuest.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. The more fans you hook and the more people who get into it, definitely the better. And as Doug would always say, like, they're always looking for insights. When they go online, they're looking to see, well, what are fans saying they want from the game? Or what are like the common mods that people are making? It's like they're not copying any person's mod, but it's like, hey, a lot of people seem to be putting taverns into the game. Maybe we should put a tavern in the next one. And so then they do it, and everyone's like, yeah, or, oh, we need to put a village where you can like train mercenaries. They did that. People were freaking out. It's like, great. So insights.
well,
And they can point to their bosses and say, look, this is what people are demanding. Why don't we make that? They say they want to buy it.
as far as this goes, this has been really great. I think we should take a quick break here now because I need more coffee. And do you have anything to tie up the power hour with before we go ahead and take our break?
Well, Avalon Hill will have plenty to do, even if somehow HeroQuest gets sidelined. I mean, besides selling the stuff they've already got. Betrayal, I think, is still going strong. The app has not gone away despite it expiring, quote unquote. They're still doing Talisman.
Oh, the certificate expired?
Well, so the app had a deadline. It was going to say like it'll be no longer available to download after, I think, October 31st,
Oh,
2025.
wow.
Halloween night. It's a horror themed game, but you can still go to the App Store and download it, and so it's not really expired. I mean, they're not developing it. Technically, there isn't really anything more to do. The only thing that they would ever need to add to it is if there was a new expansion. They would just put support for the new expansion.
If they do end of life, then eventually, as the OS's update, it'll lose support.
Yeah, it'll lose. Yeah, you'll only be able to use it on emulators at that point. But for now, if you want to use Betrayal on an app, it's free. There's no ads. I think it scrapes your data, but what app doesn't these days, unfortunately? But what but what it's for is it's just your character sheet and some scary sound effects. That's really all it is. So if you don't want to have the card, you can just use it on your phone. But HeroQuest app is a little different. That companion app is actually supposed to be used with the game, and I've proven that you can play the game with just the app and some dice and some cards and some friends. But I mean, you can do that, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and just have Zargon be another player. Yeah, so I think they'll have plenty to do, even if HeroQuest goes away. But really, if Hasbro gives them the green light, I mean, there's the Wizard Quest pack, Dwarf Quest pack. There's some of the legacy stuff. I mean, they could do something based on the Japanese HeroQuest that not a lot of people know about. They could create all new stuff. I mean, there's people that want to see like a Ratman expansion or a Swamp expansion. There's different ideas out there floating around. But it's more of a risk, so who's to say?
Right on.
They could get a HeroQuest mini-series going on Netflix or
oh yeah,
some more themed merch.
That'll be the day. Like, do you want your HeroQuest ruined? That'll be how that happens.
Right. Starring Henry Cavill, but he'll leave after the second season because he doesn't agree with the creative direction of his character, and
that's right.
He'll be right.
He'll be replaced by someone equal to, or
Yeah.
I'll replace him with
Henry Cavill.
No. I keep thinking Captain Rogers, but it's the guy who plays him, and can't remember his name. Freaking Captain America.
Oh, not Steve Rogers. That's Captain America. But yeah, I can't think of his name either.
The guy who plays him.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my signal for I need a brain break because I've had very little sleep and I'm like.
Oh man, we taking 10 minutes?
Yeah, we're gonna take 10. We'll definitely be right back. So don't go away. More RantCast to come.
RantCast.
All right. We're back. I'm going to double check and make sure Kurgan's still with us. Let me go ahead and bring the stream back here. All right. Kurgan, you still with us?
Just. Did any of that get...
Just the cast part. You gotta turn off that.
Cast.
Just for that part. There you go. Yeah. So I realize I'm doing a better job of I realize I'm doing a better job of keeping myself warm than I thought, because I went to go take that break. I was like, man, why am I so hot? I was like, oh yeah, I'm wearing this ridiculous cap I've been wearing all day. Because it's been cold. It's been so cold. So I switched to this hat. I switched to my regular flat cap.
Take that ridiculous mask off.
Yeah. And now my bald head can breathe. Well, balding head. Anyway, we're back.
Rage and anger can be released.
That's right.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and continue moving forward here. We've got just making sure we are we good? Did you have anything else to add before I moved on? Just want to make sure.
Oh, final thoughts. HeroQuest is not dead, and I'm not saying don't go to Gen Con, but we are kind of wondering what's next. So they've got a few months to line something up. So we'll kind of see. We'll be watching. We'll be waiting. We'll be planning, scheming. But in the meantime, I say just enjoy the hobby. Enjoy the game.
Palpatine returned.
Somehow HeroQuest continued to be awesome. Yep.
All right.
And people like Angus and Ribby will be 3D printing. So, and Bohemius.
Oh, speaking of which, for Joe, I want to thank Joe again for pulling out the stops and finding some of those. Is it a prefab or whatever you found for the schematic for that ship? You are awesome. Also, Chris Evans, yes, thank you for your help. For telling me, yeah, I'm so tired. It's one of those. I know I always say that nowadays, but it really is true.
Well, it's funny because I was always saying like I'm tired, and it's like you've got more stuff to be tired about than me. So
it's really only when I like pull like work and then like stuff like this, like 6 hours of drive time and 5-6 hours of work, and I didn't sleep. It was like one of those things where I'm like tired.
On the hosting.
Yeah, so I'm like put together but not. I have like this really weird like fog going on. Yep. But yeah.
You're gonna wake up in a cold sweat and be like, "Wait a minute, did I do the rant cast?"
Oh, sleep like a baby. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, moving forward, I did want to bring up at least a little bit of Star Wars stuff since I'm trying to get back into the game. I missed the Game Awards last year because I don't try not to pay too much attention to that stuff. I want to personally be surprised with certain video games now. I don't like the culture where everybody's like, check out all these awesome trailers where they kind of reveal half the game or you get spoiled. Sometimes I'll get into it like that, but I try to now, unless I really want to know about a game, like I'm not sure if I want to buy it or not. If I'm really looking forward to something, I try to spoil myself as very little as possible. When Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming out, I barely looked into any of it at all. And then like, what was it, like a week before the game came out, somebody asked me if I was going to buy it. I was like, yeah, but, excuse me, I don't know if I want to right now. But I am kind of looking forward to it. I just haven't learned anything about it. And they started telling me about it. I was like, holy shit, don't do that. But I found out, and I watched a gameplay trailer a week before it came out, and I got so excited. and it was like just an actual gameplay. It was like it showed like maybe about 5 minutes of a level, and it was like really good. It wasn't like a teaser. It wasn't like some bullshit, and it looked really good. And I got really excited for the game, and I wasn't disappointed. So that was the last time I got really really hype for a game, and I wasn't hyped for like 4 years. It was a week. So I'm looking at just stuff on a webpage. We're not like trying to spoil ourselves too much, but I wanted to take a look into some stuff. Just that some of this comes from the Game Awards. Some of this might be stuff that got possibly canceled or shelved because Disney. But article from Screen Rant. But these were upcoming Star Wars games or stuff that we might be looking forward to. And I'm not looking at any like gameplay or anything like that. We are just looking at titles. Might do a little bit of discussion, and that's kind of where I'm going with it right now. I'm gonna keep this very brief because we got some other topics to cover. But Joe mentioned I thought I was the only one. I take a nap after lunch and then another 1 to 2 hour nap after dinner. I'm still tired. Has to be the cold. I curl up under my electric blanket all night on the couch. Same thing when I go to bed. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Usually I will catch a dad nap if I don't sleep very well. But with it's always during the winter season. We are twice as busy. And I don't usually get as much time for a dad nap much anymore with the added child. So sometimes I do. Sometimes I lie. Sometimes I do. But it just kind of depends on the day. So if I don't get a lot of sleep, I'm kind of risking it. It's one of those things where if fortune smiles upon me, I can do that. So I think I caught about 45 extra minutes today when I got off work, just to nap.
So power nap.
Yeah, and I had to clean house, and I did all this other extra stuff while my wife was also busy doing her thing. And he said I got a haircut today. Now my head's really cold. Yeah, I'm still keeping whatever hair is left on top of my head. It looks really bad. I gotta shave it. It doesn't look great. That's why I wear a hat. I try to keep some. It looks like I'm keeping my youth when I shouldn't be. I played Red Dead a couple times. No, really, it does. It looks that bad now. Like, because it's growing out. I used to have, like, really long hair in high school. And in my, like, kind of my early college years. And it would go down to here. So, like, I'm getting those long strands, but they're, like, only in the middle. And, like, I comb it over, but, like, my hair's thinning up top. It doesn't look good. And I've got that bald spot here. It's not great. So, I played Red Dead a couple times and enjoyed it, even though I had no clue what I was doing. Red Dead is great. The first one's good, and the second one's even better. I would recommend you replay both. Just to get the storyline down. It's really good.
Right.
Red Dead 2 is a prequel to the first one, by the way.
Would you say it's the best cowboy game you've played?
It's one of the best Rockstar games. And it's a pretty decent, because there's not a lot of good cowboy games out there, or Western games. I think we talked about Call of Juarez once, and Call of Juarez was pretty fun as like an arcadey type game. But I like how you include stuff in the chat, Kurgan. You don't just say it. But yes, Outlaws is pretty fun.
I don't want to interrupt you.
But anyway, so we're going to cover a couple of games here. But yeah, I would definitely, if you don't have Red Dead 2, definitely play that. It's one of those games, it's like I love immersive titles. Like games that take up all your time. Like, it doesn't force you to take up all your time, but it's like, you can still put it down if you need to, but it's like one of those things where like, it's truly an open world experience. There's stuff to do besides the main game. You can do everything. Like down to clothes, facial hair, everything. It's just crazy. And then people are super hyped for GTA 6, and I'm like, man, I don't know if that game's even coming out. So I'm just kidding, but like, I think it'll be available for my PC. Probably won't even run it by the time it gets released at this point, because it's just how late it's going to be the party, and I won't be able to get the hardware to run it. Anyway, kind of do when he stops. Oh, you're funny. Okay, so so I'll kind of do my best for those who are listening on Spotify here. The closest game that's going to be released so far that's been announced, and just letting you know, as far as I know, all these games have a vague release date to be announced. So we don't even have a Star Wars game that's coming close anymore right now. After the Jedi, what was it, Jedi Survivor game, it was kind of a shit show, and that made me sad. I still play Jedi Survivor every once in a while. It's still a nice game. It just EA really cocked that up. So Star Wars Zero Company is
what
was
about
announced.
Outlaws? Star Wars,
And
not the good Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. It's very forgettable. That game the storyline wasn't bad to that game. It just was very forgettable, and they really did. Ubisoft really overplayed it. We'll get into that in a minute.
Sure enough.
So I didn't hear about this game. I haven't heard about this game, so I'm guessing they announced it at one point in time. But it looks like it is a strategy title, which is very interesting considering we haven't had a strategy game for Star Wars since Empire at War. And that is from Respawn Entertainment, the people who made Titanfall. So they're making a strategy game, which I don't think Respawn has made a strategy game. And I think Respawn tried to make a Star Wars game at one point in time before this, and it didn't. They got canceled, if I remember right. So the Respawn made the Jedi games. My bad. So Zero Company is a collaborative effort with a newly formed development studio called Bit Reactor. Once again, this is coming from Screen Rant. It looks like it's helmed by Greg Fortish. Sorry if I got that wrong. He has experience working with the XCOM series, which is also another one of my favorite series for strategy games. If you ever played XCOM, it's amazing. So, I don't know if there's gameplay or even anything described about this, but maybe they announced this at the Game Awards. But it looks like it's set during the Clone Wars. They said it's taking place during the time when the tide begins to turn against the Republic. A customizable character named Hawks leads a strike unit in tactical battles with a focus on new characters rather than familiar Star Wars faces. That seems interesting. I like where that's going. Clone Wars era has been kind of overdone a bit, but I like that they're going to familiar territory. I don't know as far as this goes, though. But it looks like they're just pulling kind of from the XCOM well. What do you think, Kurgan?
I mean, I think you're right in the sense that you've got a gap in the genres of these Star Wars games, and I think we need, I hate to repeat Kathleen Kennedy's line, but we need a win.
Yeah.
So I didn't play the XCOM. I didn't play the XCOM games. I mean, I did play Empire at War. This might not be something for me, but
XCOM was like a smaller strategy game where you took control
Hugely
of.
Popular.
Yes, Enemy Unknown and XCOM 2 were really good. Like, you took control of a strike team of like 5 people. You could customize those guys, all of them, and you could train them. But if they died, they were gone. Like, one of them died, they were gone. You lost them, you had to recruit another person. So, like, while you were fighting with one strike team, usually you could recruit some more in the background. You could switch and swap. It had really good, like, qualities. And it had some really good choices that you had to make. It's very hard to explain, but it was a to me, it was kind of like put on a smaller scale for strategy. Like a lot of big strategy games, they focus on like armies or big garrisons. This one was like, yeah, you had a strike team. You would pick a zone to drop into to do like a rescue or something like that, and you would communicate, and your team would communicate, and you would take turns. Like each unit would have a turn, and you could move them, go into cover, attack, and you'd have to get used to each one of those units' abilities, strengths, weaknesses. XCOM 2 got a little bit more intricate into that, and it was nice because, like I said, once you lost one, you had to grab a rookie pretty much, and like it was
kind of punishes you for
it does.
Throwing away your men recklessly.
That's why
it sounds interesting.
But that's why you train or you swap units if you get an excess of units. Yeah. I did play XCOM for a little while. XCOM 2 had modables, which had Star Wars mods in them. So I played the Republic Commando version. But anyway, that's going to be a Zero Company. I don't know if it's something I'll be fully interested in, but it looks promising. Another one. Did they tell us when that window was going to be in? Let's see. Excuse me. Release window is a vague 2026. So they're saying sometime this year. Whenever, so I'm guessing it's going to get delayed. Galactic Racer. Also this year. So maybe pod racing.
Now this is pod racing.
So this was a big. This was another Game Awards thing. So covers material like the sequel trilogy. It clearly follows a mode that Episode 1 Racer established. Races promise high stakes intensity in the vein games like F-Zero. With plenty of opportunities for violent crashes, dangerous mistakes. Despite the new reveal, Galactic Racer is set to release sooner than upcoming Star Wars games that were announced years ago, with a 2026 launch window already in sight. It's a debut title from developer Fuse Games, but the studio leads have highly relevant expertise from Burnout and Need for Speed. That is very promising. That looks great.
Do you think, though, that there's still people that are nostalgic about Episode 1 who would go for something like this? Or maybe
I think people who like Racer. And like I said, this looked like it might have already had a trailer. Might have already had a trailer in the Game Awards. And this is something I might actually look up. Because I don't care if I'm spoiled about this, because it's a racing game. And I might pick it up once it's on sale. I don't know if I'd pay full price for this, but like I said, I'm stingy though, but that's me.
I'm trying to think what's besides the Star Wars theme, what sets the pod racing games apart from like other racers? You have some vertical movement.
No, you're thinking too deep. It's nostalgia for me. I was 8 years old and I didn't have a lot of games on N64, so you played pod racing a lot. Star Wars games were very limited for children like me. So, you had Jedi Knight eventually, but for somebody who didn't have a very powerful PC at the time, I had my Pentium 2, but once I started getting into PC a lot more, I was able to play those games. But like I said, the Star Wars, even though Star Wars games were a lot more prevalent, for the N64 and the console market, Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire, Episode 1 Racer. Anything else was kind of weird, I think.
Well, we haven't had a game like this since the PS2. There was that.
I'm glad they're trying to bring them back, because AAA games and quadruple A games are getting to be bad. A lot of big companies are getting restructured now because of the money they're losing and the disinterest.
So maybe a return to nostalgia. A good arcade racer that has
simplicity is more like what I'm saying.
Not just leaderboards. You could have multiplayer matches. Yeah.
And
lots of characters, lots of slapstick stuff.
Why have variety. A whole bunch of games that are $60, $70 now when you could also throw in a smaller game at $30, $40 and get the same result? Yeah, a whole bunch of people will still buy it. So I support games like this. I mean, it might be a full price game because it's probably a Disney title. It's probably gonna be Star Wars, but
I gotta get that cut. Oh,
if-
Joe mentioned Age of Empires, especially Age of Empires 3. That's
Indeed.
another good example of a RTS.
This one says it could be as late as 2028, according to Screen Rant. This is coming from Quantic Dream, the people who made Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit, Beyond Two Souls, all those games that seem like movies, and like when you have control of the character, you have like quick time events, and they all use like big name actors sometimes in them. What was it? What was the other one? I don't think Quantic Dream made Until Dawn, but similar games like that. So, and I think this game was in development back in like 2015, and then it got pushed back because of the allegations from Quantic Dream. Like they had allegations of like sexual assault and all that crap. So, Star Wars Eclipse. It had this had a reveal trailer in 2021 too. It was supposed to take place in the High Republic era. Yeah. During the Acolyte time period. So, yeah, I have almost no interest in this now because
Or 1. Or 2.
Yeah. Now, to give them credit, this has been in development probably before the Acolyte. But I'm not huge on the High Republic era right now. And David Cage games are kind of like dying out for me. I like the older ones, but they like the whole like games as a movie deal. Games are now much more freeform to where you don't have to have them feel like that to feel more immersed. So I don't know if they're still doing it like that, but that's what Quantic Dream is known for. So I don't know. We'll see. They had Eclipse came under scrutiny following its announcement because of Quantic Dream's involvement, which resulted in blackout Star Wars Eclipse trending on Twitter. Many fans feel the lucrative Star Wars IP shouldn't be licensed to creators prone to repeated troubling behavior. Because they had a toxic work environment. Yeah, this is where it was. Maybe it was 2021, not 2015. I can't remember. There was something in 2015 that they announced that got canceled. So maybe I'm getting confused. But yeah, Quantic Dream had really bad, accusations. But yeah, like now it's been delayed for a long time, and you don't know if it's even going to be good.
Wow.
So, and there's not even really an announcement for it, except for the fact that that's what they're saying. And then KOTOR remake by Saber Interactive. The
Goes back?
no, but they keep. Well, okay, we talked about this already about how they said like it's not dead, but there is no definitive release. I really fucking hate that. Like, because they keep saying that, Disney keeps saying that about a lot of their movies too. Their Star Wars like movies is like, we're shelving it. Like, okay, what is that? What the fuck does that mean? You can't keep a producer and director on hold. Like, so 10-1 is just indefinitely like canceled until you pick up somebody for the project. But yeah, so you guys, I don't know if Joe was around during our early Rantcast days, but I was very excited when this was announced, and we covered it a couple times on the Rantcast, and then one Rantcast, I came on and said, well, it looks like, because I think this was part of Aspire. Saber Interactive is part of Aspire or something like that, but looks like Saber Interactive went to Sony, I think it was Sony or their parent company, and showed them the vertical slice or demo of what they had so far in the year, because this game was supposed to come out the following year, as in when we did the Rantcast for this, it was supposed to come out like later that year, and it looked awful. and was barely complete, so they like shelved it. It was pretty much canceled. So according to this, reports of a change of developer for KOTOR remake from Aspire to Saber Interactive. Oh yes, that's what happened. Yeah, because Aspire fucked it up. Worried fans about the state of the game. Tweet from 2023 revealed an exchange with the CEO of the company behind Saber that offers little hope for imminent release, despite various other scares like a delisted KOTOR remake trailer. Oh yeah, they delisted the remake trailer. That's right. So we still don't know if it's eventually going to be released. But that's sad. That's the sad part, because Aspire had a chance to make something great, and they're the people who remake. They port the KOTOR games, and they ported them over. It's kind of like the same thing with the Grand Theft Auto games. They started porting those games over to like iOS and Android, and they made a kind of like a career in their company on porting Star Wars games over to mobile. So they did that with that, and then they started porting like games like Force Unleashed to PC. Any games from like older console, they'd port to PC, and they were halfway decent, and they weren't bad. They were a little outdated because they used like standard PC controls, but they were okay. But when it came to time for them to make their own game, or to actually do something, it looks like they shat the bed, which kind of sucks. And I was kind of rooting for him this time. But yeah, last year, Saber CCO Tim Willits said everything we've talked about is still in development, but he's not referencing KOTOR in particular, so who knows. However, here's the kicker. We have something in that era, I believe. I haven't checked it out, but this was I think the big part of the Game Awards, and this was Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic by Arcanaut Studios. Revealed at Game Awards 2025, Fate of the Old Republic promises a return to the rich RPG experience that KOTOR delivered. Fate of the Old Republic moves to new characters, but its status is a spiritual successor. Development is led by Casey Hudson. Hey, y'all remember Anthem?
Oh, dang.
That game that like literally just got killed off this year. The servers shut down January 12th for Anthem, so the game is no longer playable. But Casey Hudson, it used to be part of BioWare, which BioWare made KOTOR. I think they helped with KOTOR 2, because KOTOR 2 I think was Obsidian. They also made like Fallout New Vegas and stuff. But Casey Hudson had a part in the original games, and he did Mass Effect. So I keep forgetting that, because he has such a shit stain on his record now, because he like up and left during the middle of Anthem and then came back. So he was kind of a scumbag, but who knows? Maybe, that career change was for a purpose.
So that game is completely dead. There's not even private servers for it.
What, Anthem? I don't know, and I don't know if there's anybody who's interested enough in picking it up. You play that game by yourself, and I actually had some interest in wanting to play it just by itself. But with EA, as they are, because they rely on the live service mantra like Ubisoft does, I don't know. That's why I like the stop killing games motive, is because games like that, even though the mass audience doesn't like them and doesn't care, games like that are proof that we shouldn't make games like that. And the reason they'd still be alive is to show people and help people learn that games as a service don't work. But some people might be inspired by a game like that. Like, oh, the art style is kind of cool. Or I liked playing Anthem. Like, even if it was by myself. It was my favorite game, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, the critics were saying there was a lot of grinding in it. I don't know. I never
Yeah.
played it.
So, I mean, the Stop Killing Games initiative would have maybe helped with something like that. Because it was a live service game you could play by yourself and with others. And making it playable for single player would have been not particularly the easiest thing in the world, but you don't have to accommodate it for people. You just would have had to make it so that you can join the game in single player. And if that meant like it becoming very hard because nothing accommodated to your player level or whatever, then whatever, but at least you could still get in the game. Anyway, details of the game are still scarce. The trailer serving more as an atmospheric tease. So this was like not an actual like gameplay trailer. Interview with Hudson and Douglas Riley from Lucasfilm Games emphasizes the possibilities of infinite stories to tell. So we'll see. I'll just say we'll see here. My favorite. Joko just says, I think I remember that. I need to get an external media drive to see if my KOTOR CD will run. I can almost tell you because I have both KOTOR 1 and 2. You're going to have a hard time running them on Windows. The Steam versions will run, and you can get the expanded content mod for KOTOR 2, which helps complete that game, because that game was incomplete when it released. And I did have a playthrough of KOTOR 2 on Twitch before Twitch ripped it down. I think
What did they call it?
I think Kurgan has my backup.
Yeah, I backed up a lot of those. What was the content mod called?
I think it was like the expanded content mod or something like that. But I would recommend doing the Steam version and downloading that mod.
There's a site called PC Gaming Wiki, which I don't know if they do it for KOTOR 1 and 2, but they have a lot of like, alternate launchers, wrappers for a lot of these games to like help you run them on modern systems.
Steam works well. I think Steam works fine for KOTOR 1 and 2. I think for KOTOR 1, you're going to want to I think KOTOR 1 has workshop
too.
Has workshop support. Both those games I think have workshop support for Steam, and you can download the there's a HUD and resolution fix. It's like a patch for the game, so it'll play in current resolution, and then there's an expanded content mod for that too, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the storyline. It just adds stuff that was ripped out of the game. And then KOTOR 2 does the same thing. There's stuff for visual, like fixes, and then there's the content mod for that, which I would highly recommend because once you get close to end game, there's parts of that game that don't make sense.
I threw a link in your IM there. You want to reference it? Up to you.
Right here?
Yeah.
What am I referencing?
Oh, this is just an example of. I mean, yeah, you're talking about Steam's Workshop, but there's like links here to a lot of these.
Yeah, but the mods are through Workshop. So like you'll download the game on Steam, and then they have a Workshop tab. So that way I don't have to explain to him the long process of where to get the mods and then how to put the mods in. Workshop does it all for you. You just go to Workshop, type in the mod, and then hit install, and it does it for you through Steam.
You could just get the Steam version and then do that. Or if you had the old CDs, you could go through these lists and like decide which ones you want to.
I mean, if you do the CDs, you have to install the mods manually, and they may not work on Windows. You have
I've done
to do
that
like
with
a
my
patch.
favorite games, but yeah.
Yeah, see right here, it's restored content mod, also available on Steam Workshop.
Nice.
It's highly recommended. Yeah, so this website will help you. But yeah, all these are the Aspire ports, by the way, except for the And then EA wants you to go through EA Play Pro, so don't do EA. They suck.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah, Fate of the Old Republic is in early development stages, which, considering the recent track record, could be a concern. Hudson, however, is already taking to social media to reassure his fans the game will be released before 2030. I am 30. I'll be 34 next year or next month. That's 4 years from now. So I'll be 30. I'll be close to 40 by the time that happens. And I just want to let people know. Who these games are catering to the most, as people who played the older games.
Yep.
I'm not telling you to hurry up or anything, but holy shit, man.
If I have dementia and I can't even appreciate this game, I'm going to be... Well, I won't be mad because I won't really know what I'm missing, but still.
Yeah. I mean, take your time at this point, but I don't even know if I'll be able to play it on hardware at that time. I guess they're Respawn's trying to make a third Jedi game, but who knows at this point. It says the momentum won't be stopping anytime soon. First news of the next game in the series came out from a comment that Cameron Monaghan made at a Comic-Con event, referring to work being done on the third game. Wasn't a definitive announcement, but it did confirm that something was in pre-production. So it looks like they might be making one, but I think EA is still the publisher for that. So I can't imagine that they would still have EA as a publisher. But well, oh yeah, further update on the next Jedi game with the announcement of the restructuring at EA, because they do have a restructuring. Like, they laid off a fuck ton of people, and with kind of good reason, because EA's, I don't know what's going on with EA. I mean, they're crappy. They're a crappy company. Although there's no public announcement of the sequel, IGN reported that the series was moving forward despite other cuts. So, just look for maybe a dip in quality, I guess. And then now these might be like reaches for the sky at this point, because it just says Amy Hennig has a Star Wars project. Okay. This is a lady who made the first 3 Uncharted games. It doesn't look like there is a release date for this. Oh, wait, hold on. The title project marks the second marquee game in development at Skydance New Media, alongside other title in development for Marvel. New studios only formed in 2019 and has yet to release a game, but Hennig and other AAA development talent have attracted some of the most coveted IP in the multimedia entertainment. Dominic Rouillard, director of the notoriously hyped but canceled game Star Wars 1313. Ooh.
Oh man.
So
Twitches.
So it looks like, yeah, there's no details about the game, and they haven't really made a game yet, and it looks like they're a AAA studio. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes, because with the price of those games and how things are going, who knows where we're going to be in the next couple of years with how hardware is and all that other crap, and the future of entertainment looking bleak. So I'm looking for games that have an announcement, are in the next couple of years, and it looks like we've got a strategy game and a racing game, really, at the end of the day. Possibly we might have an RPG, but at this point, and I mean, it's logical, because if Casey Hudson and his team just started, it's 4 years is pretty good. But at that point, they're probably going to be looking at testing the game on next-gen consoles, and probably trying to get their hands on next-gen hardware, which is going to be hard. So I don't even expect it to be released in 2030. He's giving a reassurance he probably can't fucking make, which is stupid for him. But, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm being foolish here, and hardware will be a lot easier to come by in the next 4 years. But like I said, the last half decade of like bullshit that's happened, like I can't guarantee that that's what's gonna go down. So as far as it goes, Star Wars is looking at least a little bit more promising than it did. So, and that's being serious. We haven't had too much luck in the video game industry. We had the Jedi games, and those were fun. Besides my little unfortunate run-in on Jedi Survivor, they were both really fun games. Star Wars Squadrons was kind of a schlocky game, but I really don't like the fact that EA refuses to change, and they're kind of at the point to where they're like literally chopping limbs off, and they're screaming in agony, and they still refuse to drop their business model. It's sad. It's sad, and it's a little messed up. So, I don't know. Kurgan, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Starting to feel it myself a little bit.
well, hang in there, buddy.
We got this.
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully things get better, but we'll keep it posted here on the Rantcast on how this develops and if anything changes. But I will look forward to a strategy game and a racing game. So that I'm looking forward to. Kurgan, are you ready? I will shelve my other couple topics because it looks like you're kind of dying on me. Can't believe you're dying on me, dude.
I know. You're the one that's tired. And I'm like, oh. Wake me up
dude.
when they release some good Star Wars.
Come on, bro. Drink some coffee. Come on.
Oh, man.
So, before we end the night.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's got to end. We're gonna have to end the night.
This will wake me up.
This was our Star Trek project for the night, which hope everybody's strapped in, whether you're listening on Spotify or you're watching with us or you're going to join with us. We thought we'd do some Star Trek every Rantcast now. We thought we'd start with TNG because TNGs are kind of my favorite. I don't know too much about the original series to make an episode tier list, so we're going to start with season 1, and then we'll go up.
I could help you with that one. I could help you with DOS.
But I haven't watched the episodes enough. Like with TNG, all I need to do is look at the episode list and then kind of review it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's that episode. I just haven't watched it in a couple of years. So, yeah. So right now, me and Kurgan are going to look. This is a episode tier list, if you can see it.
It's that chart with the S tier, A, B, C, D.
If you're on Spotify, we'll just, like I said, we'll talk about it, and then we'll just decide what we're putting on there. We'll tell you what we're putting on there. But we'll kind of we'll go down the list, and then we'll talk about each episode, and then we'll decide whether or not that's going in like what tier, or what letter grade, what tier grade. So S to D.
We're doing every season?
No, not today. We're only doing season 1 today.
Just one season more.
So.
But you said we big the tank left.
Did I wake you up? Did I? So this is gonna be fun for me because I might have to wait till after we go through all these because it's been a minute. There are 26 episodes, and the first season of Star Trek.
Last year, 175 episodes in the whole series. I watched it last year on Blu-ray for the first time in a decade.
And this is gonna change. So, unfortunately, Kurgan, because you don't screen share with me, and you keep yourself wildly anonymous, it's going to be hard for you to do a tier list. We need to prepare for this next time. So
okay, we will.
You need to get yourself hooked up. But we'll start with first episode of Star Trek The Next Generation's Encounter at Farpoint. This includes Q, if I remember right. Let me make sure I have that correct.
Yeah. That was the first meeting with Q, very first episode, and there was a character in the original series called Trelane, who was very similar and was the inspiration for Q. Basically, an alien that can mess with the crew. He has near godlike powers. He's not unbeatable, but he's like a trickster. He's like testing them.
Yeah, so plot here is what's happening is new flagship of the United Federation of Planets, USS Enterprise, travels the planet Deneb 4 for its maiden voyage. Enterprise is to open relations with a simple bandy people who have somehow been able to tap immense energy reserves and construct Farpoint Station. Much to the surprise of the Federation, en route, Enterprise is met by the omnipotent being who identifies himself as Q. The Q Continuum, who declares humanity is being put on trial for savagery. To simplify here, because Q, does it remember? I can't remember who plays Q. What's his name again?
John Delancey.
There we go, John Delancey. I very much enjoy him.
Yeah, he definitely relishes the character.
So before letting the ship resume its course, Q warns Captain Picard that he is destined to fail. So pretty much the big goal here is, because I remember the trial of this episode. This was a good episode.
Yeah, it's a two-parter though. So, if I remember correctly, the B plot, it was kind of interesting, but it pales in comparison to the A plot. I mean, encountering Q for the first time. I mean, it's the first episode, so a lot of it is just getting to know the crew, showing off the capabilities of the ship. I mean, you see the Enterprise do stuff that they never do again. Like they've got the battle bridge, they got the saucer separation. I think they do that in Generations. I'm trying to think if they ever did it in the show a second time.
This is a two-parter? I can't remember. This is a two-parter.
Yeah, Counter or Farpoint Part 1 and 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
it is episodes 1 and 2. That's right. Yeah.
If you take the whole thing as one episode, I guess it's pretty good. If you divide it in half, I would say the second half is not as good. So, I don't know. What would you say? A?
I'd probably put it because it is a
pilot.
It is a solid episode. You never cared for Q, Joe? Oh, get out of here, man! Get out of here.
He gets annoying. Annoying, but I mean,
he does.
That's the point. He's an antagonist.
So I always like the schlocky, like it's very predictable at times. Q becomes less villainous and becomes more like a friendly, or more of like a friendly rival. Would you say? Yeah,
because here he's definitely a threat. He's like scary.
He is the enemy, because he's somebody you can't defeat, and like the only way you can get around him is by playing the game, and that's why I like it.
But he's the only one laughing.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, they are truly threatened by him, and the only way you can get around is playing the game, and that's why I like this. This is a very solid episode. I think it kind of sinks you in to TNG a little bit. I don't know if it would really introduce all the characters. I can't remember if it does a lot of that, but I am going to go ahead and give it a B for now. Put it in the B.
I would say it's interesting because you could say Gene Roddenberry's philosophy was very much like humanistic, very much like science and reason will like conquer all, and he's almost subverting his own philosophy because he's like, but what if there was magic that could just like beat science? I mean, you're still supposed to sympathize with Picard and the crew and say, yeah, but they're doing the best they can, get out of the way, crazy god, wizard, weird demon man. but it's an interesting contrast, so it's pretty watchable.
So the third episode, The Naked Now, this is the drunk episode, right?
People hated this one, but I remember being a little bit uncomfortable watching it because there are some let's say more adult themes to this one for like a little kid watching it.
This is the one where they get like
the drunk one.
Okay.
It's technically a remake of a TOS episode where almost the same plot happens and they reference that episode in it. But yeah, the idea is this is like a quick character study. Okay, take all the characters, get them drunk,
Okay, let me
Either
stop
they act
you
the opposite.
there because I can remember this episode a lot, and like I said,
Okay.
I also heard when I was watching Red Letter Media talk about this, it was something that I didn't notice until after I rewatched it. If you notice, every female in this episode, when they end up catching this virus, they become extremely promiscuous. They get
More so than the guys
extremely
do.
horny,
Yeah.
more than the men do. So like
Yep.
you could see
Interesting.
like Tasha Yar start hitting on. If I remember, she's hitting on. Didn't she hit on Data? Yes.
Well, she hits
She
on a
has
couple
she has
different
a
guys.
sexual
She-
encounter with Data, and then on top of that,
Yep.
Crusher ends up I think hitting on Picard.
Yes.
Crusher,
We-
please. Like
Yeah, he's trying to hold it together, and she's just like, "Wow, I just can't wait to get my hands on you." Like, I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable, but it gives the characters a chance. So you've got characters that have repressed stuff that they wanted to say, and they just blurt it out. But then you've also got people that are acting the opposite of how they normally act. So
Yes.
yeah, even Data gets
So-
affected, even though he's a machine. Which
So
is really
they end up getting this. They end up mostly all getting this drunk, and then because it's spread by like physical contact. But
like an STD.
and then I am going to bring these up. Yes, there's a fully functional sexual encounter with Tasha Yar and Data. It's insinuated.
You don't see, yeah.
you don't
she's wearing
see
a
it.
slinky outfit. She throws
But,
him on the bed, and it closes the door, and he's oh.
But I think eventually Dr. Crusher does find a solution for the ailment, because there was something that had to do with the original Enterprise that got left behind. She develops a new version of that antidote. So while everybody else is getting cured, including Picard and the rest of the crew on the bridge, Wesley ends up getting infected and then takes control of the engineering deck, which puts the ship in harm's way.
Yep.
I think they end up trying to fly towards the sun or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
I really hated Wesley in this episode, but it made sense why he
because
was being
because
such
he was
a
like
dick.
fucking wasted and he like did not listen to anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So, but he ends up eventually. Let me see.
Wesley Crusher, boy genius. That was Roddenberry's idea. He wanted to have like a wonder child on the ship. And you could say he has his own character arc through the series, but yeah, at first a lot of people were annoyed.
The chief engineer, Sarah McDougal, ends up disabling Wesley's force field. Data's sent to replace the what are they called? The isomeric chips, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah.
The isolinear chips.
Linear.
That were replaced, and then Wesley ends up reversing the ship's tractor beam, and it repels the Enterprise off the Travolsky, I think is what it's called. But they end up saving the day.
Nowakowski. Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah.
And and then Picard kind of gives Wesley some credit for preventing disaster, even though he kind of caused it. So
just a kid.
The Naked Now is to me a funny episode.
I would have back in the day I would have put it much lower, but I've come to appreciate it, and even without
it is one of those episodes you kind of have to be in the mood for, because it's funny at first, and then to me it kind of gets a little drawn out once you get to the Wesley part. I think you get to that other half, and but if you are like my first time watching it, well, it was interesting.
Well, if you're watching it at 9 years old with your family, it's very awkward.
This is going to be hard because I like a lot of this, even though like season 1 wasn't all that great at first. Like to me, compared to the other ones, it's one of those that's just
Roddenberry was most involved in this season. also season 2, and then by season 3 he was basically out. Is what
Yeah,
I've heard.
I still like the organizational efforts of, we're all put together, stuff like that. I'm gonna put this as a C.
Okay,
S
got value.
S tier is kind of like one of those things where it's like perfect.
Superlative. Yeah.
So A is like great. It's like my favorites. B is solid. It's a good episode. C is like normal. There's nothing too wrong with it, but it does have, it does have the like an issue. And D is like, you could probably skip this if there was like an episode list. Like it's got a lot of filler. It's got a lot of like, it's just not. It's not an enticing episode. At least not in my list. It's not. So I'm gonna put it as a C. The next episode that we have, episode 4, is Code of Honor.
Yep. This was supposedly an episode that they did not rerun a lot because people were uncomfortable with it. They said they claimed it was very stereotypical.
This is where Tasha fights. Doesn't she fight this one? It's like Yarina. Yeah, Yarina.
It's a matriarchal society where the women have to fight, and so she gets a chance to shine as a woman warrior.
That's right.
But they were saying like, it's the stereotype of the African tribesmen and their backward ways, and you have to respect their culture. And
I'm gonna kind of push that aside. I think that
as an episode, let's look at it.
I think Tasha Yar gets some good screen time in this because she didn't get a lot, and I liked that.
Be honest, did you ever have a thing for her back in the day?
Tasha Yar, I didn't watch TNG back in the day. My first experience with TNG was like 5 years ago, bro.
Dang. Okay, off the hook.
Like I told you, I wasn't a Trekkie until recently. So
I thought Denise Crosby was very attractive, even though they put her in that outfit.
She's a very beautiful woman. Is what I'll say. But I could see how that is a thing. But I just liked her character. Her character needed more screen time, and I thought it was sad that she left the show.
Yeah, the character was she was a SA survivor. She grew up on this rough planet. She has this tough exterior. She has like fighting skills and strategic thinking, but it's like it's a mask for the deep pain that she has. So kind of an interesting character. But yeah, as we've discussed before, they could have done a lot more with her. They didn't. She came back, played other characters, but yeah, at this time, this was her episode.
So this episode received Nielsen ratings of 9.5. Although Will Wheaton was talking about it, said it wasn't good. It wasn't as overtly racist as I recalled. But there was some talk about this episode. But I guess it wasn't as hated. Not a lot of people like super hated it, but there was some talk about it.
Politics change over time, but yeah, I think people are a little kinder to it now.
But the staff writer, Tracy Torman, was not pleased with the 1940s tribal Africa theme. So I'm going to go ahead, and it has nothing to do with this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this down because I remember this episode. It's not bad. Once again, I think that based on how we view each other in society, right, we have an open view on how we would view aliens, or how we view terrestrials outside of our being, like it's new worlds. So, and maybe some aren't so different, but they follow things that their culture might be offensive to us. And the whole point of being in Starfleet is to, the prime directive is we have to let that stuff play out.
Well, to a limited degree. I think, were they a pre-warp civilization? I mean, they came up with that rule.
Yeah,
but if they're not sufficiently advanced, then we can't interfere.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm saying. But I'm going to go ahead and give this my... it is a I think it should be watched because it's you got Tasha Yar in there. There's a lot of the Tasha Yar screen time, and she's an important character for season 1, and even though not a lot of people would consider it, but I will put it as a C. It's a solid episode. It has its ups and downs. I do remember there's a negotiation scene, I think, between the leaders and Picard, and there's like some unwanted offenses because they kidnapped Tasha. Didn't they kidnap her, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they do something.
Because like that's
I mean,
they are a
usually
they're like they're a matriarch. They put women below them or something like that. So it's like a sign of respect. And so
I said it wrong. Yeah, matriarchal would be the women are in charge.
Yeah,
but women have a different role. But yeah, it's like she's a prize.
Yeah. So okay, I'll
probably have to watch it again.
I was kind of right here. So
the description.
So they're trying to acquire a vaccine to combat the outbreak of the Achilles fever. The crew, possessing little information of Ligonian culture, finds that it follows strict customs similar to the ancient China. While their men, the culture rule society, the land itself is controlled by the women.
There we go. That's
so Luton, the Ligonian leader, transports up to the Enterprise to provide a sample of the vaccine and is impressed by Tasha Yar's status as head of security. Yar further demonstrates her Aikido skills against a holographic opponent. After a tour of the ship, Luton and the Ligonians abduct Yar as they transport back to the surface. Captain Jean-Luc Picard demands that Luton return Yar, considering the kidnapping as an act of war, but receives no response from the planet. After consultation with his officers, Picard determines that Luton took Yar in a counting coup as a show of heroism. Picard contacts Luton in a more peaceful manner, who grants permission for the Enterprise crew to beam down to the planet and promises to return Yar after a banquet in his honor. Luton announces at the banquet that he wishes to make Yar his first one, surprising not only the Enterprise crew, but also Yarina, who was already Luton's first one. Yarina challenges Yar to a fight to the death to claim back the position. When Picard objects to the fight, Luton refuses to give the Enterprise the rest of the vaccine unless Yar participates. Yeah, so that's what was offensive. Was they have like these primal cultural like rules.
Well, the thing is, Star Trek has done this for decades. Is they'll have like a quote unquote alien culture, but it's just they're just humans with some putty on their foreheads. But when they basically just say these are just humans. And it's
it does teach you something a little bit, like especially if you're just somebody who doesn't like. I think it does teach you something. Like there are some people who do these things. They follow these. Unfortunately, there were cultures that followed these rules, and
it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's inspired by different things. Yeah. So
I think that's good. What would you put this on if you had your tier list?
Yeah, I don't know. It was I don't think I ever saw it back in the day. I think I saw it when I was rewatching the episodes like in the 2000s. And then I saw it again last year, but I don't know. Other than seeing Tasha Yar like focused on, I didn't really think much of it. But I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, if you set aside the cultural, political stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. I think you're probably right. Is it a better episode than The Naked Now? I think The Naked Now is kind of makes you squeamish at times, but
this might change. Might change.
Might be a more entertaining episode. You only got 5 tiers, so.
The next episode is the 5th episode, which is The Last Outpost, which includes the Ferengi.
Is this the Battle of Max one? Or no? No. What's the description?
So it's in pursuit of a Ferengi vessel, which has stolen an energy converter from an unmanned Federation outpost. While the Ferengi are known to the Federation, this is first contact, and the Ferengi are thought to be at a similar technology level. As the chase passes the planet Delphi Ardu 4, both ships suffer power drains, causing them to come to a halt. Each crew initially believes the power drain is caused by another vessel, but Captain Picard realizes the Ferengi are as confused as they are, and orders the crew to investigate the planet. Operations Officer Data reports the planet seems to have once been a remote outpost of the Gencon Empire that became extinct 600,000 years ago. Picard contacts the Ferengi and gets them to agree to mutually explore the planet. The away team is momentarily separated due to the effects of the energy field on their transporters. They regroup but are attacked and bound by the Ferengi, who believe the Enterprise crew was planning to ambush their own. The away team break free and begin to exchange weapon fire, but the energy is expelled. The energy expelled is absorbed by nearby crystalline structure. Data investigates the tree and awakens an entity that displays itself as a humanoid and calls itself Portal 63, a guardian of the Gencon Empire. This one, to me, was not very great. I didn't like this one.
One thing I liked about this episode is, so the Ferengi became a huge joke later on, especially in Deep Space Nine. And you could say, okay, they were, lovable fools and all that, but I liked it better when they were still like threatening at this time. But yeah, you're right. The rest of the episode, not that great. It's kind of just like, oh my gosh, it's a big threat, and then I liked the Ferengi as well. But the solution, I'm not saying it's a bad plot to have, but a lot of TOS episodes were like this, where it's like, oh my gosh, there's this huge threat, and then this godlike being intervenes. It's like the Deus Ex Machina, and that's kind of how it resolves.
I'm gonna say, because you have the Ferengi in here, I'm gonna do.
Is there stuff to like? Yes. Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Only because of the Ferengi. It's Yep.
The rest is it's been played out before.
It was just it was a dull episode out of season 1 for me. Next one's the 6th episode where no one has gone before. Let's see. This one is where the Enterprise meets the USS Fearless to bring aboard Mr. Kozinski, propulsion expert. Let's see. They also bring Wesley Crusher to watch tests between... Yes, the Traveler.
Yeah, I didn't like this one.
No?
Boring. Yeah.
This is where they go... Is this the one where they attempt to go above Warp 9?
Well, sort of. I mean, that's been done several times across Star Trek. But yeah, you could say this is maybe one of the first ones. Well, in TOS they did, but the warp scale was different in TOS.
Because, if I remember right...
I think
because it gets stuck. The Enterprise gets stuck going like super fast, right?
Yeah. I think it's kind of a forgettable episode. I mean, if you like Wesley Crusher, I mean, you get to see more of him. You get to see more of his potential. Basically saying that like he's like a genius and he has gifts and everything. But yeah, I can remember as a kid not thinking it was that great, and I haven't changed my mind.
Yeah, this is where, because Wesley does help bring the Enterprise back to known space, and like halt, like stop whatever's going wrong with it. Because I remember this is like where it goes nuts. It warps into somewhere like super far away. They warp to do a test, and it ends up going so fast they end up like 2.7 million light years away from the Milky Way. And I think they can't go back.
stranded. Well, it'll take them so long to get back.
Yeah.
Similar to Voyager. Remember how they were always trying to get home?
So they work together to end up coming back to known space. So I didn't mind this one because it kind of brings Wesley into light, and it does give him does give his character more, and then you get he becomes acting ensign at the end. So I don't know.
Picard hated him. He was annoyed by him. The only reason he put up with him at all is because he owed Beverly Crusher, because of he felt responsible for. Did he feel responsible for her husband's death, or was he just sympathetic? Because,
see, I'm gonna move this up now.
So
because
there we go.
It is a solid episode. It's just that last part is really can be dull, but out of all of these, some of these can be really dull episodes. There's a lot of talking and like random negotiation.
Every week
they're not bad, but they're like
what Picard and the crew gonna do.
This one wasn't bad either, though. There were some problems. Like, I liked it, but I wouldn't put it on my favorites. So that's why I put these as C.
Okay. I'm not gonna agonize about it.
He's not gonna. No, I'm not gonna like worry. You need to hurry the fuck up. Let's see. Lonely Among Us is the next one. It's episode 6, I believe.
Okay.
And that is it's a route to Planet Parliament.
It's the one where he gets old. He comes back.
Lieutenant Worf is hit with a strange energy discharge as the ship passes through a cloud, causing him to become violent. Crusher sedates Worf and brings him to sick bay, but is also infused with the same energy. As she examines his body, Crusher begins to act odd and to those around her, asking questions about the ship's navigational functions. Ship begins to malfunction. Captain Picard sends assistant engineer.
Yeah.
They
shoot him into the cloud, and they try to get him back. Yeah. I thought this was a forgettable episode. I even forgot it.
Yeah, I didn't remember this one at all.
Yeah.
What the hell?
A lot of people had a problem with the ending because they're like, oh, he's non-corporeal, but somehow he's still out there. Which makes you think, okay, so they're saying, your soul exists, even though up to this point Star Trek kind of just acts like people don't have souls. So it's like, which one is it?
Not huge on that one. I barely remember that one.
Yeah.
He had the hots for her. Who had the hots for her?
Data imitates Sherlock Holmes. He does that a few other times too.
Justice is the 8th episode. We have USS Enterprise arrives for shore leave at the planet Rubicon 3. Picard sends Crusher as a part of the away team to evaluate the planet on behalf of the young people. Oh, okay, I know this one. This one's great. No, this is the nice planet where like they're like
sex at the drop of a hat, any hat.
No, they're like a really well-behaved society, and Wesley ends up getting along with one of these youths. They really start talking, and then he drops something on like one of these flowers, and that's like punishable by death. Everything's punishable by death here.
That's how they enforce the niceness. Is just like
because
lethal injection. He kicks the soccer ball into the greenhouse or something. It breaks something.
Yeah, it's
really minor.
Nice planet. While Wesley leaves the adults, those are the native teenagers. Reports something unusual orbiting the planet. Small ball of light enters the bridge, communicates with Picard in a booming voice, warning him not to interfere with Ito, calling them his children. The intruder incapacitates Data. On Rubicon 3, Ito explained to Lieutenant Tasha Yar and Worf that capital punishment is used to enforce their laws. The away team rushed to warn Wesley, only to discover that he has accidentally broken a greenhouse while playing catch with the Ito youths. The Ito mediator, or policeman, attempts to give Wesley a lethal injection for his infraction of the law, but Yar and Worf draw their phasers. On the ship, the spear leaves Data's body into parts. Picard, upon hearing the situation with Wesley, transports to the surface. He meets with the representatives of the Edo in the council chamber and explains that Earth no longer practices capital punishment. Some Edo interpret this stance as an attempt by the Federation to push their superiority and suggest that Picard should mount a rescue effort for the boy. He says he cannot, quoting the Prime Directive.
This was a famous episode. I remember, like, they draw you in with sex appeal. So everybody's got these skimpy outfits on. They're like, oh man, we just have no problems. We just do it at the drop of a hat. And everybody's like, woo, because they didn't have Risa yet. So later shows they always talk about the pleasure planet that people would go to on shore leave. But then they have this discussion about laws. And Picard makes a pompous speech at the end, and they basically just like break the rules to save their comrade. And it's kind of cool because it's like up to this point, you're thinking Picard is this rule follower. He believes in the ideology of the Federation. He does everything by the book, or he tries to. Here he's just like, no, it's wrong. So it's kind of cool. But like the problem is in later episodes, he kind of forgets that lesson, and he acts like the this episode Picard. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I'm reading it here because I actually did like this episode. This one was good.
Yeah, it's a memorable episode.
Yeah,
there's more to it than you first think.
Yeah, because they have this entity that's in space that the Edo worship as a god. He's willing to risk the wrath of the entity. He orders transportation of Wesley the Enterprise, but the entity disables the transporters and again threatens to destroy the rest of the ship. Picard's had enough. He pleads with the Edo god that the laws must allow for exceptions to ensure justice. And after this statement, the transporters go back online, allowing the away team to return. Upon leaving the planet, Picard communicates with the entity to inform it that they are leaving, and they will remove recently placed colonists at a nearby star system under the entity's claimed jurisdiction, if the entity expresses so. However, the final offer was refused, as the entity informs Picard to steer clear of the Edo before disappearing. But Picard regrets they did not communicate more, and the Enterprise departs. So this one actually is going to go in the A slot.
Yeah.
I actually liked Justice a lot. Yeah. Because to me it's like having to work around something without using violence. And then on top of that, there are some things you just can't deal with. And there was, like, they introduced a lot more of the Prime Directive. There's just a lot in this episode that was good.
Yep.
Let's see. The Battle, episode 9. Might not remember this one as much.
Battle.
Yeah, trying to read it here.
I like this episode. This was a good one. So this was the one where
it mentions the Stargazer, and Picard explains the Maxia, the crew, was forced to abandon ship despite winning the battle by an action that would come to be known as the Picard maneuver.
Yep. I like this.
Oh, okay.
So you basically have a Ferengi who wants to torment Picard by having him relive this scenario of this battle. So it's a revenge story.
This was
it's
making him relive his old, like this is where he was on his old ship, right?
Yep. But it's like he thinks he's actually there. And so it's like, oh shoot, they're going to like attack. Yep. So it was cool. And it shows, again, dangerous Ferengi rather than, kind of like bumbling idiots who are no threat at all. So different.
Yeah, this one's
I
good.
would put it. I don't know if I would put it in S. I'm not sure what qualifies as S, but it would definitely be A.
It's above, and I would really have to get into it, but it includes another Constellation class ship in this episode, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's not just recycled footage.
And it's another appearance of a Ferengi, like you said. They make for a decent adversary, but I do like how the Ferengi were later introduced as kind of like profitable, like aliens that would kind of sell their mom for
Well, later they become they're just greedy schemers, but I mean they're like so greedy and so scheming, it's like it's a self-parody. But here it's like, okay, there's some variety. They're definitely an adversary. You can't just like instantly predict what they're gonna do. Like
Right.
they have smart plans, they have big emotions. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one note.
I think that'd be a good one. I don't know if any first season episodes are gonna make it into S. I know Hide and Q. That's the 10th episode. This is the one with Riker, where they. It's the one where they tried to where Q tries to recruit Riker. Is this that one?
Oh, is this the one where everybody gets killed? Let's see.
No, he tests Riker to see if he can.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this one.
If he can be like a god or something.
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but there's some just good character moments in it. And yes, Wesley does get killed, so a lot of people liked it for that reason. Spoilers.
Yeah, it's testing. Q continues testing Commander Riker to see if he's worthy of being granted godlike powers. If Riker accepts them.
Sorry, the Wikipedia page mentions that Marina Sirtis, who plays Counselor Troy, was not in the episode, and she thought she was getting fired from the show because of that, supposedly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I forgot she wasn't in it.
If Riker accepts them, excuse me, Q wins command of the starship. If he refuses them, Picard makes Q promise to never interfere with humanity again. Meanwhile, Riker and his team are attacked by what Lieutenant Worf reports to as a vicious animal things, dressed as
basically werewolves dressed as Napoleonic soldiers.
Napoleonic soldiers wielding energy-firing muskets.
Yep. They kill everybody.
So Q returns to Riker, tells him that he's granted him the powers of the Continuum. Riker uses them to return his crewmates to the ship, but he remains behind to question Q's intentions.
This is also the episode that establishes that Klingons are into rough sex.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it's kind of
It was an interesting episode. It was very interesting.
I was entertained by it back then, and I still am today. So you could say there's a lot of wild stuff in it, but yeah, it's definitely it's at least a B.
And I think the next episode with John Delancey is going to be Q Who, if I remember right. But yeah, it was. Definitely
can I say,
interesting.
I did not like to be honest, I did not like the character of Counselor Troy in this season. I don't think I liked her until much later. I mean,
really?
You got to admit, for guys of a certain age, she was quite attractive, and they did give her attractive outfits. But she would just, I don't know, most of the time she was just like, she was kind of useless. I felt like she's always like, oh, I just have this feeling.
That's really funny because like the next
psychic.
episode, I think includes her a lot.
Yeah, I mean, whenever there needed to be a romantic subplot with a woman, it was hardly ever Beverly. It was almost always.
It also includes some of my I really fucking hated her at first, but it includes another favorite character of mine, which is Loxana Troy.
Oh yeah, Gene Roddenberry's wife, Michelle Barrett. I hated her as well, but they give her kind of a character arc throughout the show, and eventually, like, I accepted her. But yeah,
and she shows up in fucking in Deep Space Nine a lot too.
She's also the voice of the ship's computer.
Oh
and
shit!
when they do like the last time on Star Trek: Next Generation, that's her. So she worked hard on the show.
So yeah, I remember this one. Haven being the 11th episode. This is the first appearance of Loxana Troy, and
that was
it's just a fun episode. It's a fun episode.
I can appreciate it now, but at the time I was like, this is just a soap opera. Like I'm not interested in that.
Yes, so it's
the wrong age.
I believe she's trying to set her daughter up with Counselor Troy's trying to set her up with like a man named Wyatt, but she's still in love with Riker.
Yep.
And then I think your next
mom knows best for you, and you want to do your own thing.
So and your next plot is like your other plot is they have they're dealing with Torellian refugees. We see.
Yeah, I got confused in the show because they talk about the Torellians a lot, and there's multiple aliens that they call Torellians. So, but anyway, yeah, the whole Beta culture, they're supposed to be full telepaths, but since Counselor Troy is only half Beta, she can sense people's emotions.
Is this the one where
But she's always like, "Oh, Captain Picard, you're thinking about me in that dirty way," and he's like, "No."
Oh yeah, because these guys had the virus. They had to be so they had to be dispatched on a planet where they wouldn't be able to spread the virus, the Torellian virus. And then I think Wyatt ends up catching the Torellian virus.
So that's how she gets out of the marriage.
So according to this, Torellian vessel placed a tractor beam. Wyatt recognizes one of the Torellians from his dreams, and she too recognizes him. He tells Dr. Crusher that he will transport some medical supplies to them, but transports himself along with the supplies. When the crew discovers this, Wyatt's parents demand that Picard bring Wyatt back, but Troy insists he cannot return, as he would now carry the Torellian virus. Wyatt tells his parents, Troy, and the rest of the crew he knew that this would be his destiny and is happy to help cure the Torellian virus. He convinces the Torellians to leave Haven and search for help elsewhere. Picard orders the tractor beam to be dropped and allows the vessel to depart the system. So, yeah.
True love.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just the wrong audience for this one, but
you can take it or leave it. I liked it because it had some good stuff. So I don't know. I got the Naked Now too. So I would feel like just because it had a slightly boring plot in the background, I'm gonna go with that. I mean, some of these.
Service is an attractive woman, so if you want to see more of her,
that's not why I put that in there.
I know.
What I'm saying is, like, I think these. I'm gonna look back at this and go, man, some of these episodes are in the wrong. Because I'm like tired, but we're making. Let's see.
Making content.
The Big Goodbye.
Yeah.
12th episode. Oh, this is this might be a good premium tier. This is the one with Dixon Hill, the hard-boiled detective on the holodeck.
Yeah. As silly as the holodeck episodes were, a lot of them were very entertaining.
They were
like
very
once you
fun.
just accept the premise, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go into this fun house that can kill you, like randomly.
So, the Enterprise heads to Torona 4 to open negotiations with the Dorada, an insect-like race that's usually strict in matters of protocol. After practicing the complex greeting, Captain Picard decides to relax as Dixon Hill, the hard-boiled detective, on the holodeck. Playing Detective Hill, Picard takes up the case of Jessica Bradley, who believes that Cyrus Redblock is trying to kill her. He decides to continue the program later, leaves the holodeck to affirm their estimated arrival at Torona 4. He invites Dr. Crusher and visiting historian to join him on the holodeck. Picard and Weyland are ready to enter the holodeck when Lieutenant Data arrives. Overhearing Picard's invitation, the three discover that Jessica has been murdered in Picard's absence. As Picard explains that he saw Jessica at his office the day before, Lieutenant Bell brings Picard into the police station for questioning as a suspect in her murder. Meanwhile, the Enterprise is scanned from a distance by the Dorada, causing a power surge in the holodeck. Dr. Crusher later enters the holodeck, first experiencing a momentary glitch with the holodeck doors, and joins her friends at the police station. I think this is that thing where when they enter, they can't leave, or everything's everything's real.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be photons and force field.
The safety protocols were disabled, so Weyland gets wounded.
They're in the Matrix. One of the criticisms, I just read this on the Wikipedia page, is they were saying, well, there's an episode in TOS called A Piece of the Action where they go to a planet of gangsters, and they're like, oh, they just copied it. But I would say, set that aside. It's the holodeck. They reuse the holodeck malfunction subplot a lot over the course of Star Trek, unfortunately. but at this time it was still a fresh concept.
I liked
and it
it.
was kind of cool. It was kind of cool.
That's
So I
S
agree.
tier for
I
me.
agree with you.
It's like one of my favorites, like of
Yep.
all time.
They have to play along.
See, so this is why I can't be a movie buff, because like the cheesiest stuff is like my favorite. Data Lore is the 13th episode.
When we get to TOS, it's going to be interesting because some of the episodes people say are the best, I disagree with, and some of the ones people say are the worst, I actually don't mind. So it'll be interesting.
So this is the one with where you kind of learn a little bit about Data's origins, Dr. Noonan's song.
Yep.
Oh yes, this is Lore, the Data's other
evil
side,
twin,
right?
basically.
Yeah, his evil twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to see Brent Spiner act against himself, where Data is much more like humble, I guess. He's like Pinocchio. He's trying to become human, whereas Lore sees himself as superior, and he tries to like manipulate, and he's a little crazy. In some ways he's superior, but most of the time he's just unstable, and he's
just like evil, and
people.
like he just tries to.
Yeah. Which is the whole thing is fascinating because you think, okay, Data is a robot. He's just imitating humanity. But he actually has like a moral sense. They say he doesn't have emotions, but he kind of does. He's a sentient character. It's very interesting. Sometimes they overplay the, Data wants to become human thing, but a lot of times it's interesting, and this is definitely an episode that allows him to explore that. Because he could be like Lore in some ways. He could choose to act that way, but he doesn't. So I don't know. Lore kind of annoys me in some later episodes, but I'd say this is a really good. I would put it as
he's the see where Data follows protocol. Lore's kind of like just the murdering psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just do whatever you want. You're better.
This
than
includes
people.
the crystalline space entity capable of stripping away all life from a world. And this is what caused the colony's demise in this episode. So I think Lore was responsible for killing a whole bunch of people, if I remember right. And then when Data finds this out, Lore incapacitates him and then attempts to imitate Data, which he can, but he eventually fails. And then after a brawl with the crew, Wesley ends up beaming Lore into space. So, and then the crystalline entity departs. So I liked it.
There's another episode that follows up on the events of this one, because obviously it couldn't just be the end. But I would say it's a good episode.
So another good fact about this one was the evil twin story was suggested by Brent Spiner. And again, this is also a recommended episode because it does explain a little bit about Data's origins. So I do consider it a recommended episode.
Yeah, Dr. Sung, of course, has a similar name to Khan Noonien Singh, and I guess the story, you've heard the story, it was that there was a friend that Gene Roddenberry lost track of who had a name similar to that, and so he put that in as a tribute to his friend, and then he was hoping that like the guy would see the episode and contact him, but he never did. Oh, but yeah. And Dr. Sung is also played by Brent Spiner. Later, you'll find like he plays an old man.
Okay, now we're gonna start moving a little bit faster.
Yep.
Just a little bit faster. So this is episode 14, Angel One. I'm gonna see if I can kind of keep this condensed a little bit.
It's another one of those. This is the women in charge episode where Riker gets a piece. Let me see if I'm right.
This has to deal with, I know this deals with the Romulan neutral zone.
Yeah, the women are in charge. Yeah, okay. Right, the Romulans. Yeah, because up to this point, I don't think we dealt with them again. I mean, they were in the original series.
We have another, I think, virus. Is it a virus or... Yeah, it's like another virus episode, if I remember right.
Well, that was another thing. They keep at the beginning of TNG. They say, "Oh yeah, we've cured all of Earth's diseases," but then there's all these other diseases. But I guess
Well,
it's like, well,
you're
there's
not on
other
Earth
planets,
anymore. You're on other planets.
right? Yeah, space viruses, Andromeda strains.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just like a strange virus has been spreading about the Enterprise. Yeah, so I was right.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Wesley catches a cold while skiing on the holodeck. Yep. I don't know. I thought this was kind of a forgettable episode, to be honest.
I don't particularly remember this one.
Yeah,
I
but
remember the
if
neutral
you,
zone, but I don't remember like.
this is one of the episodes where, you talk about Riker being kind of the ladies' man of the show. I mean, she
Oh yeah,
basically,
yeah,
he basically
yeah.
talks him into bed. I mean, he's not upset about it. He definitely goes
This
along with
next
it.
one I think is another good one. I'm not gonna say the episode. 1100101. Episode
This one.
15.
No, this one was not good.
I liked it. I definitely
You loved
liked
it. Okay.
I didn't
You and I
love
done
it. I liked
perfectly.
it. I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. Come on,
Liked it,
computer hive mind aliens. Oh, come on, man.
When would that ever work?
It totally works.
All right. Oh, it works. Trust me. It works. Okay, well, difference of opinion. Hey, you're in charge of the tier, so you do what you think is right, of course.
Come on, you didn't like the binars?
Nah. As a kid, I might have liked them, but I don't like them now.
Why not?
They were silly. I mean, I guess you could say the
So to me,
binars are
that's
like
what aliens are supposed to
they're
be. Some are supposed to be silly. They're supposed to be outlandish.
they're silly to us. They're a tribute to the like little green men, flying saucer aliens in some of these like older shows. They were not meant to be taken too seriously. So in that sense, you could say there's some good there. But as an episode, it was not that interesting.
Because I am going to have trouble summarizing this episode, could you summarize this for our audience?
01110.
No.
No, I really can't. I don't
Okay,
even care
Warp
to.
Core is
It
going
was
to go crazy. Binars discover a issue with the Warp Core. I believe they were trying to fix it.
They ran out of energy.
Yeah, something goes on with the binars. I know there's like a specific sound or EMP that causes them, because they communicate like as a hive mind. They communicate through binary, and if that ever gets cut off, they will die. So. There's a star that goes crazy near their homeworld, and they start to fade away, I believe. But they have an issue, and all I remember from this episode was they were falling down on the ground because they couldn't communicate with each other, and I think that's why you have such a big problem with this. It's because if they can't talk, they die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the theme you could say is, even though Roddenberry was very sympathetic to collectivism, he still saw it as it can go too far. Like, you can't have a perfect society. You can't have loss of individuality. Even though there's all these perceived benefits, there's major downsides. And so it still is kind of like putting that guardrail against
Okay,
it. But just as an episode,
I was wrong. I'm sorry. Because I have to reread this. The binars caused an issue in the Warp Core with the Enterprise. They did that because they were afraid something would cause an issue with their planet. what was going on the ship nears the orbit of Binus, and that the star near their homeworld had gone supernova. The MP would knock out their computer systems, killing the Binars. So what the Enterprise does, or what the crew does, is they download their computer information for safekeeping, and then give it back to the Binar computers, so the threat of the EMP would pass. Or once it passes, they don't have to worry about that anymore, if I remember right.
Okay. So they had a reason to do it.
Yes. They apologize and move on. Like,
I mean, as a concept, it's interesting, but yeah, nah.
It's a C episode for me. I didn't mind it. I give it an A for effort, and it's interesting. I would bring it up to B tier if I wanted to, but I could see how it would be boring, and yeah, it's.
Well, in the whole like collective like hive mind society, that was still fairly new in the series, so you could say like now it's played out, but maybe back then it wasn't as played out.
So Too Short a Season is the episode 16, and this is with.
Oh, this is the guy that gets younger, right?
Yeah, this is like isn't this like an old retired?
Yeah, I didn't like this one.
Like admiral? Is it an admiral or a captain? Admiral Mark Jameson. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens is like what does he do? Oh, he takes some drugs, like some sort of drugs. And it ends up
aging
turning
him.
Ages him in reverse.
So that
I'm trying to read to remember what he was doing to do that, because I can't remember. Carnage replies they're dead. James is coming back. But does it explain what he takes to do that?
I've forgotten what he took. Some BS magical elixir.
BS. I'm losing it.
Yeah, I mean there's nothing wrong with the concept, but yeah, is it the execution? It's just it's not that great of an episode to me.
It just says it's taking an array of drugs to reverse the aging process. So yeah, he's pretty much trying to he de-ages himself so he can go and relive the glory days, pretty much.
Yeah. So just age gracefully. You can't get it back.
So he can engage Karnas, which Karnas was, if I remember right, these were people that were no longer enemies.
But he still wanted vengeance against the guy at the end, if I remember right. It's like, oh, you're that guy? Well, time to die.
Yeah, see, literally Mark, on request of Karnas, the governor of Martin 5, Karnas warns that a dissident terrorist group has taken a Federation ambassador and staff hostage. Yeah. He's never forgiven him that Karnas has taken the Federation staff. Yeah, so this is just like a big old feud. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those ones that didn't really stand out to me either. And I'm starting to realize the more I have to reread these, like I feel like they were more forgettable. I don't know if I'd put it in D though, because I felt like it did have a.
The way I look at it, maybe I'm looking at it in a different way, because some of these episodes, it's just like a mystery. It's unraveling. It's like, okay, well, where's this going to go next? I got to find out. How does it end? But then when you see how it ends, you're like, oh, that kind of sucked, and like you never want to watch it again. Whereas some of these episodes, like a piece of the action, it's like, or not a piece of the action. What's the one on the top? I can't read it. The gangster one.
Oh, the Big Goodbye.
Big Goodbye. That's one I could watch again and again. Like I could watch that one, even though I know everything about it. Or Data Lore, I could watch that one again. But yeah, Too Short a Season. It's like, okay, I know how it ends. Not interested.
This one is nice when the bell breaks. This is the one where the people are unable to have children, so they kidnap Wesley, I think.
And a bunch of the other kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Uh, at the time, I kind of remember like there were like gifted and talented programs for kids, and it was like take your kids out of school, put them in some like alternate learning program, and it's like going to be better for them and all this stuff. And so that was kind of like a theme that they incorporated into it. But of course, it's like, oh, but we're going to kidnap your kids, talking about fertility and all this stuff. I think at the time I didn't like it. I was like, oh, this is silly. But now it's kind of grown on me. Maybe I'd put it in B, is my opinion.
Is this where like the radiation poisoning is caused by their computer? This is another like computer thing where like, is it like where they like the computer does everything for them?
Yeah, it's the perfect society, but it has this major drawback.
Correct their ancient systems. Yeah, this is where like the reason it's causing this because their stuff's getting old, and like the computer's pretty much running everything for them, and like it runs their life.
Stagnant.
Dude, yeah, this is a
Yeah.
good episode.
Yeah, it's just like Phantasy Star 2,
It's really good. Um,
where the brain does everything. Okay, so you put it much higher. Okay.
yeah, I really liked.
I would
this
have said
episode.
B right now.
Well, because compared to the other episodes, right? No problem, Joe.
Wrong.
Thanks for sticking
Surprise.
around with us. It was I like those
Biggest-
episodes that kind of stand out, right? It's not like it's not like a
Memorable,
virus. It's not
memorable.
a virus episode. It's not a it doesn't have like your typical A B stuff. It's there's some that kind of like stand out just a tad, and that's it.
It is original. It is original. I believe the children are our future.
Oh, indeed.
Well, there's a moment I remember where I think one of the kids he like did this sculpture with the kidnapper who was trying to be his parent, and it's just like oh, just use your imagination, and then he just like uses the tool and it like carves a block of wood like into a dolphin. And it's like, wow, took no effort at all. And he's like, oh, here, you can have it as a gift. And he's like, no, I think I'll learn how to do it on my own. It's like, thanks anyway. It's just kind of like, oh, it's kind of interesting. Of course, at the time as a kid, I was like, no, keep it. That's awesome. But it's like, no, he
Did
wants to
you
learn how to do it.
did you like Home Soil? This one did not stand out to me very much.
Home soil. I probably have to look that
It was
one
a
up. I don't remember.
this was terraforming, the terraforming episode. So
There's a
it
few
had-
of those.
not in season 1, not that I knew of. I know that there's so it was this pretty much Valera. The Enterprise goes to the terraforming colony of Valera 3. The away team enters the service with Counselor Troy. She senses that one of the workers, Mandel, is hiding something. After they arrive, one of Mandel's team is killed by a malfunctioning laser drill. Data's inspection of the tool. When he goes to inspect the tool, it begins to fire at him. His quick android reflexes allow him to dodge the shot and render the drill harmless. He discovers that the laser has been reprogrammed to fire upon the staff. Nearby, a crystal is discovered giving off an irregular light and radiation
ugly.
patterns.
Ugly bags of mostly water. That's literally the only thing I remembered about this episode.
Yeah,
Ugly bags of
that's
mostly
where
water.
Crystal begins to
Humans are-
grow and access the computer's translation program and attempts to communicate with the crew, treating the humans as the enemy and calling them ugly bags of mostly water.
Which is a great title. Yeah, gee. I mean, clearly I did not remember this one, so I guess it's for me. It's not
Sentient
memorable.
crystals, pretty much. Is that what this is?
Yeah. I mean, we already had the crystalline entity, so it's been done before.
Yeah, it like turns. If it can't get light, it immediately begs for life and starts to die.
As a sci-fi episode, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe as Star Trek, I just didn't like it. I wouldn't rate it high. You do what you think is best.
It's unique because at the end they do end up quarantining it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'd probably put it in C.
I mean, you could live without it or not. It's good. I wouldn't say it's bad because it could entice you. It's just I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably put it in the D. You could choose to watch it or not. I would say like you could live without this episode. Coming of age, I think is
If you don't
something
like that episode, you're an ugly bag of mostly water.
That's right. I'm not saying it's bad, but like this is where I have this trouble. I'm gonna probably rearranging some of these because like that it's not a bad episode. I wouldn't say like wouldn't say it would be DD, but like yeah, it's
On a different
this is
day,
probably
maybe.
why I should probably move some of these to S and then go down. Like,
Yeah.
so coming of age is
Age.
this is another Wesley episode. I thought. Yeah, because he's going to the academy, or he's about to take the exam. This includes Commander Dexter Remick. And Admiral Gregory Quinn. They hop aboard the Enterprise for classified reasons. Quinn has ordered Remick to perform an investigation of the Enterprise and its crew. And expects
Oh,
Picard
yeah.
to cooperate.
Yeah, actually, I did like this one. I mean, it leads into a second one. This on its own is not perfect, but it does lead into a second part that's pretty good. So I'm going to say it is a good episode. I put it in A.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it is kind of a requirement. I didn't remember this one, but I'm gonna trust your judgment on it.
Yeah. If I watched it again, maybe I would change my mind, but the way I'm feeling right now is what I would do. I think I remember liking it.
Heart of Glory, 20th episode. We're almost done. This includes the neutral zone. Distress call of a Talarian freighter.
Different Talarian. Nope.
Yep. Away team beams over 3 Klingons.
Oh, yeah.
I think I remember this one.
This is one of those ones where it's either like a really racist episode or it's a really good one, depending on who you're talking.
Oh, this is the one where they go. Rah!
Yeah, they develop much more of the Klingon
Yeah.
lore. Because the whole thing is like, Worf is an interesting character
because Worf is still Klingon no matter what. Like he still adapts it. Oh, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah.
This one's good.
It's like how much of it is cultural and how much of it is genetic, and they go back and forth on it. Like sometimes he just does whatever he wants. Other times it's like, oh, I'm a Klingon, I have to do these things. It's like, says who? So, yeah, depending on how you feel about that. Sometimes you have to forget what they later develop Klingons into, and if you just take it at face value, you could see the drama of it.
This one I think is a requirement. This is a good one.
Okay.
I would say also for the roaring. This is good.
It definitely
Dead Klingons about to arrive. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do B, but yeah, you got the
yeah.
veto power.
Arsenal of Freedom's the 21st episode, and that includes the Lorenz cluster. Search for the USS Drake after it vanished. They're met by a holographic figure. Advertising Arsenal of Freedom. Records met by Captain Rice of the Drake.
Some people did not like this episode. It's very simple. I could watch this one over and over. I'd put it in S. Hot take.
Okay, explain this one to me so maybe I can remember because I'm reading this.
It's a video game. It's a video game. It's like remember it comes out. It's like, oh, the first time we just blow it up. The next time it comes out, oh, it dodges. Oh, now it's got a force field. Like it keeps getting stronger and stronger, and it's like you'll never beat it. It puts one of the crewmen in a force field, and it's just like they just can't beat it. It's like it keeps adapting to. So it's kind of like the Borg. It keeps adapting to their strategies.
So how do they beat it? They shut it down?
No, it's just like I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Oh, you'll buy it. Great. I'll pack it up for you. It's a demonstration. So the guy is the computer is not trying to kill them. It's just trying to sell them a product. So it's like, see how effective it is. But they're trying to fight
he finally
it.
tells us. Okay.
I'll buy it.
It's a computer terminal. Okay, I remember. He activates calling a salesman. Okay.
There's a funny part too where like it generates, if I remember correctly, it generates like a holographic like infiltrator unit who looks like another Starfleet guy, and is like asking Riker questions, but he's really just trying to gather information. he's like, "Oh, top speed of my ship is warp 3. What's your ship?" And he's like, "It's the lollipop."
Yeah.
He like refuse because he doesn't believe him. He's like, "Who the hell are you, buddy?" It's just kind of funny how he just has like nothing but contempt, and he's just like
Um,
mocking him.
Symbiosis is next. I put it in B, but like yeah, I remember. Um, but I B is solid. Like it's a episode. It's a good episode. Um, so Symbiosis, 22nd episode. Enterprise attempts to rescue the freighter Sanction, disabled by a star's magnetic field. Attempts to transport the freighter's crew, but is only successful in recovering 4 of them before the ship is destroyed. We got 2 Tijan and Romas, which are scruffy and unshaven. Is this the drug episode?
Say no to drug. Yeah, this is the after school special about
This
drugs.
is the PSA.
Yep.
Okay.
They have a bag of rice and they got batteries. And
They were
you
like
gotta
saying
put
that
it in
they were like they're suffering from a plague and then they need it, and then like Crusher's like
I mean, it's kind of a nice twist.
they're going
to
through
it.
withdrawal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not that great of an episode. I mean, it has a message. I mean, stay off the drugs, kids. But yeah, it's like a twist because yeah, you got all the plagues and everything.
I think they
It's like,
did
oh,
a
they'll
good
have
job
it-
of
they'll have
explaining it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say C. 'Cause I'd say you could
Yeah.
watch that.
It's probably fair.
I mean, I'd probably put it in D too, but I didn't mind it. I'd probably have
Yeah.
to rewatch
I didn't say it was bad. I just didn't think it was very memorable.
Let's see. Skin of Evil, 23rd episode.
Oof. Dang it. Because
Which is-
I
it
hated
just-
I hated that they killed the character. It's a big blob monster kills Tasha Yar. But yet it was
this
shocking.
is that. Yeah, this is that one, huh? Yeah, she fucking.
I remembered
yeah.
it. I remembered it being shocking. I remember
Don't
even
drop your
just the
phasers.
fact that the actors like go into the that tar and it's like all in their mouth and stuff, and I was like, oh, how did they do that? You know, the actor must have suffocated. Like
That's
I was
the thing
shocked.
that gets me the most is like I think Riker did a take with that, and like somebody like dropped their phaser. Like, don't drop your phaser. Oh shit.
Yeah, because they were just painted wood. Yeah, I guess at the time I was shocked. I was angry. I was grossed out, but
So-
it was effective. It grabbed me. So I don't know. It's like a painful necessity. Like, and I was like, oh, of course they'll bring her back. It's like, nope, she's dead. Like,
She does come back.
she's gone.
just not like you
Yeah,
think.
in a time travel episode, she comes back as a different character. Yeah. Or not time travel. It's like
She also gets really good dialogue in this one too. So I liked Tasha
Well, you
Yar
put
as a
that she had-
character.
She had a moment.
She was Denise Crosby played a gung ho character, and
Yeah.
kind
Gave
of
it
like the
her all.
gung ho, like yeah. And I think it was kind of crappy. But at the end of the day, she went to pursue other things. But yeah, it was sad that she'd leave. I wasn't like completely destroyed by it, but I was surprised when I first watched it because I was like, oh wow, they're already killing off characters. So yeah, this is the Tasha Yar gets killed episode by something very simple.
Yeah, which happens. I mean, in real life, soldiers get killed by stuff that's not glamorous and dramatic and heroic.
Yeah.
It's just you're just dead.
So-
and it's sad.
There is a tar-like substance on this planet,
Live.
Vega 2, and it's a malevolent life form that calls itself Armus. When Lieutenant Yar attempts to approach the shuttle, Armus hurls her back with a psychonetic blast, killing her instantly. The away team's brought back to the Enterprise, but the injuries to Yar are too great for Dr. Crusher to remedy, and they're unable to resuscitate her. At the end of the episode, after all this is settled, they hold a memorial service for Lieutenant Yar, and each of the senior crew members address her, telling them what they meant for her. But
Yeah, that was cool too.
yeah, Armus is taken care of. Picard orders a permanent quarantine on Vigor 2. I'm putting
Leave me
Skin of
alone.
Evil as probably... it's very hard because this is the Tasha Yar episode. So
It's like I
But
didn't want her to die, but they handled it. I mean,
it's
to this day,
it's
there's people that say they did her dirty, but
it's
I
an
don't know.
okay episode. It's just yeah, she
Yeah,
died. I
I'm
would
not sure
say
if I'd say A or B. I guess I'd put it
probably
B, just
B
put it in the middle. Yeah,
because yeah,
tough one. But you get those character moments. All the characters get to react to her, but it's like
24
you wish
episode
she had more.
episode 24 is Will Always Have Paris, and that is um,
I don't think I like this one.
this is another I think holodeck episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This is one where it's Picard, I think, that is too. Well, yeah, I guess he's been trapped in it before.
Receives
Isn't
a
it like
distress call from Dr.
tries
Paul Menaheim in the
to
nearby
keep him there?
system. Captain Picard recalls that Menaheim was ejected from the Federation Science Institute for conducting unauthorized experiments. He feels awkward about meeting Menaheim because he once had a relationship with his wife before abandoning her in Paris to become a starship captain.
Like Maltese, not Maltese Falcon. What
So
can't I
it
think
turns
of?
out that when they
The
get
other
to
movie.
the distress signal, Menaheim and Janice are the only survivors, and they need immediate medical attention. The two are brought aboard, while Crusher tends to Dr. Menaheim, who is having convulsions. Janice has an awkward reunion with Picard. She also alerts the crew
Casablanca.
to numerous security protocols that her husband had installed at the facility. As the crew prepares to send the away team to investigate the laboratory, they experience more time distortions described by Data as Mannheim effects. For one instance, Picard, Riker, and Data enter a turbo lift only to see their past selves conversing outside the lift. The crew find that they cannot complete a transporter beam to the facility due to the security measures in place there. Mannheim recovers long enough to explain he was doing the experiments involving time, gravity, and funnels to other universes, and suspects his last experiment was running out of control. Picard admits to Janice that he is worried about losing her again after he left her in Paris and vows to correct Dr. Mannheim's experiments. So
I didn't like this one.
so this is what I remember. Picard and Janice use the holodeck to recreate one more encounter after the solution is solved at the Paris Cafe before she returns with her husband to the planet.
So there's some Casablanca references.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
pretty
know.
much it's like a conflicted love interest,
Yeah.
where
They're
you
trying to
know,
build more background to the character.
yeah,
But I don't know. I'd say D. It didn't interest me at all.
and it was a reference to Casablanca. You were correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I would
Sorry,
say
to interrupt.
it's okay. I would.
A lot of
I
the
don't know.
romantic episodes, I as a kid, of course, I was a kid, so I didn't get into it, and just didn't. If you liked it, you can go for what you did.
See, I don't know because it's interesting. I don't know if I want to put it in D, but I'm gonna have to
Put it in C.
reevaluate this.
Yeah, we should just like have a watch party and watch these episodes to see if they're really as bad as we thought. All right, we're in the home stretch now.
Yeah,
2 more.
conspiracy.
Okay, S. I'm not joking. This is the second part. So it was brilliant the way they set it up. First, they have the episode where they evaluate like all the plot conveniences over the course of the show. It's almost self-aware. And then what do you know? They're all aliens. They're trying to kill everybody. They're
Okay.
eating bags of mealworms.
I'm changing
got,
my
like,
answer.
Creatures
Sorry.
inside, and you got to kill them all. And so now there's a cover-up. And it was a surprisingly gory episode, like the way they kill the final boss alien. Like his torso explodes, and there's this like fish falling out of his body, basically. And there's definitely some body horror. So I used to have a thing for like, just imagine like a bug crawling under your skin, and you see the skin moving. That freaked me out. And then the creature like crawling into the guy's mouth and like wriggling down his neck. So that's conspiracy. So I'd say S tier. some people would say, oh, it's just a creepy episode. Maybe it's not that good.
So, oh yeah, it's the Parasite episode.
Yeah, told you. If you've ever seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, where the parasites crawl into the ears, that's pretty disturbing as well. This one, the
Yeah.
creatures are kind of CGI looking, but I mean, they show how it like crawls into the guy's mouth and it attaches to your brain stem and controls you, and then you start getting a taste for mealworms. So they're all gonna have dinner, and they're just sitting there with these.
This is with the admirals,
mealworms.
right? All of the admirals, they
Yeah.
all have that parasite in them. Yeah, this one's a good one.
Trying to take over the Federation. Yeah. See, well, and it's been a theme ever since TOS. Is whenever there's an admiral, there's almost always a very good chance that admiral is corrupt, crazy, or evil.
And then the
But it
neutral
works.
zone, which is the final episode, and if I remember right,
Romulan.
this is
Is it the Romulans one?
is this where no, this isn't introducing the Borg yet. Is it Borg's next season?
Yeah, that was a good episode when we get to that. The neutral zone. Let's see. Yeah, they meet the Romulans. Because I think originally the Romulans were not going to be in the show. Is what I heard.
I like
Maybe
that they did
I'm
that.
wrong about that. But they just decided, oh yeah, they're back. They changed the way they looked, so they gave them forehead ridges that they never had before. But
All that
just like the
incurable
Klingon,
illnesses. Also cures my right easily cures them of their illness. They have to culture shock and awaken a distant future. Clement seems to fare the best at adapting to life in the future and prevents data.
I guess I'd forgotten a lot of the plot of this one.
House arrives on the bridge and threatens to disrupt the tense situation.
Oh, shoot.
This is
Oh,
with
wait a minute.
this is the current
Oh.
humans. Yeah, this is where the
No, I totally
Right?
forgot that's what this one was. Yeah, they find the cryonically frozen. No, okay, S tier. Went
did you
from
say S
don't
S
remember.
tier?
Yeah, it's a silly plot, but I enjoyed it a lot. Like just the culture shock. You got the Wall Street guy, you got the goofy like country singer, and then you got the mom.
I enjoyed it, but I'll put it like I said, Counter a 4 point is a good starting point to Star Trek. That's why I put it B. B is solid. I would say I might need to revise this, but this is a good.
If it's not S, it's at least A. The neutral zone.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess I'd forgotten the plot about the Romulans. I was thinking of just the.
But this is my rough tier list for now. This is my rough tier list of
Okay.
season 1. I might have to do some revisioning.
Yeah.
But
You can always quibble with some of the back and forths. Yeah, memorable versus less memorable. So I mean, pretty middle. It's shaped like a hand.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, people who say season 1 was a complete waste disagree. I mean, it did have some good episodes. Not a lot of great episodes, but you had to start somewhere, and you definitely had a lot of like radical character development episodes early on. You didn't have a lot of filler. Even the bad episodes, at least they tried something. Even if it was maybe recycled from TOS or from some you could imagine it as a script from some other sci-fi show.
Right.
Like it wouldn't have had to have been Star Trek. But yeah, weekly show, 1987. I remember watching them on TV, and I remembered all of them except I think the Tasha Yar Warrior Woman episode. I didn't remember that one at all, but now you can get them all on DVD or Blu-ray or streaming.
Indeed. Well, maybe we'll
Yeah.
do another tier list next time, a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I'm gonna call it.
I could definitely do
real tired.
TNG. I could do TOS. Yeah.
But
Yeah, but that was fun to reminisce about those. That woke me up a little bit, and then I'm ready to pass out again.
I am definitely sleepy. So with that, I'm gonna end it. Um,
Breakfast.
have a good night, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. And that's been our show. Sorry about the elongated tier list, but it was fun. Anyway,
I think it's the first tier list I've ever done. With the
there's
official.
many more to come.
Oh man.
Anyway, I'm Josh, also known as TheStrangeBus, and you can catch me at twitch.tv/StrangeBus. As always, my other host, Kurgan, also known as HeroQuest Fans, and you can catch him at twitch.tv/HeroQuest Fans. That's twitch.tv/HeroQuest Fans. Also on YouTube at XSC3, home of HeroQuest Fans. Thank you for joining us, and you catch us next time on the Rantcast Podcast. We'll catch you later, and have a great night.
Cast. Stick around for the raid if you want.